From St. John's University, Sports Channel presents Metro College Football. Tonight, Pace University takes on the undefeated Redmen in a Liberty Conference showdown. Hello again, everybody. I'm Barry Landers along with Beasley Reese on a simply marvelous night for football. You know, Beasley, on paper, you'd think this might be a blowout. St. John's comes in 4-0, Pace 0-4, but there are several factors which may change that. This might be a good ball game.
That's very true. Even though the Redmen are undefeated, you got to take into account that they've really passed only one test, and that's in the season opener against Iona. They won that one, winning 21-14, and for Pace, it's really been a question of stopping themselves, shooting themselves in the foot. 16 turnovers in 4 games.
Offensively, they've struggled. They have not been able to run the ball effectively at all. They lack speed in the backfield. However, they do have speed in the quarterback, Matt Coleman, and he and Mr. Frink have teamed up with a nice combination.
Well, Coleman is he's the kind of guy, if he sees something, he'll take off running. He led the team in rushing last year. Eric Frink and Coleman have combined for 3 touchdowns. That'll be a good combination. Frink has caught as many as 10 passes in 1 game already this season.
Defensively, they've struggled, particularly on the ground. Teams have been running the football right up the middle against him.
Well, everybody that lines up against Pace, from studying the films and the like, they've decided that they can run the ball against this Pace team, and they've done it very well. And that plays right into the hands of the Redmen.
Defensively, it's been a story for St. John's. Quite a difference from last year. Scott Cessny and Dennis McDermott are gone. They've struggled offensively, but the defense has been very potent.
The defense has been exemplary. They have put together 4.5 sacks a game, which is very impressive. 3 interceptions a game, and when you play like that, you're going to dominate. That's the reason that they are undefeated.
While their passing game certainly has struggled, looking for a quarterback to take charge, the running game has been very effective, particularly Anthony Russo, a freshman tailback.
Well, he brings a smile to your face, a lot of good movement, good instinct. They say he may be the best tailback that has played here for the Redmen. Over 200 yards, 216 to be exact, last week. So he's a very talented runner and should put on a show here tonight.
So it should be an interesting ball game, and we'll be back with more from St. John's in just a moment.
Thank you very much. Somebody special, very special to the St. John's Redmen is no longer with them. Last February, Fran McCall passed away at the age of 60 due to a heart attack. And this year, St. John's is remembering Fran McCall by wearing his initials on the back of their helmet. You see the FM implanted in the back of the St. John's Redmen helmet in remembrance of one of Bob Ricker's closest friends. Now, Bob Ricker, and I'm going to quote Bob Ricker on this, and how much he really liked and loved Fran McCall. Fran McCall, as Ricker describes him, was a great all-around person, an educator, and somebody I leaned on for guidance and direction. I could count on him for a straight answer. I learned a lot about life, sports, and commitment from him. We will never replace Fran McCall. Fran McCall might have been labeled coach, but he was a friend to all.
And he was a friend to both Carl and myself. Beasley, you probably played for a guy like him, an older guy who just loved kids.
You know, he obviously gave a lot to the young athletes here, and you can always appreciate a man like that. It's a great loss, but he did exactly what he loved doing, and that's helping the young men at the Redmen.
Rob Castilli with the kick, and Paul Castle returns for Pace. He'll get it across the 30, up to around the 34-35-yard line, where he was brought down by Jeremy Muchler. So we'll set the Pace attack, which has been stymied this year. Matt Coleman is the quarterback. Steve Jaffe moved from offensive guard to play fullback. Jay McGinnity is the tailback. Eric Fink, we talked about, he's a good one. And Tom Cassidy and Pat Dean are other fine receivers. In the offensive line, it's a young line, and they're going to have their hands full with St. John's. Jay McGinnity is the tailback. Instead, they go to the fullback, and Steve Jaffe, 6 feet, 235-pound senior, straight ahead, brought down by Ray Lambright, who plays on that front 3. As we look at the stats for quarterback Matt Coleman, 44% Beasley, 7 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, and as you said earlier, sometimes he likes to run before he throws.
Well, he's a jittery young guy, a lot of talent. If he sees the slightest crack, he'll take off. 170 yards rushing last year, and he's lost 105 yards this year due to sacks and getting caught in precarious situations.
1-yard pickup. They'll keep it on the ground. Oh, no, play action. Good fake, and it is a short gain to Tom Cassidy. Maybe a yard pickup. as he was brought down by Carl Volpe, right outside linebacker, but a nice play-action fake there.
It was a nice play fake, and Volpe was right in position.
That front three is a good one. Mike Cunningham playing the nose guard, replacing Kenny Cobb. The linebackers are the real blood and guts of this team. Outstanding combination. Colangelo among the best, along with Biter. And the secondary banged up a little bit. Johnny Del Rey out, knee surgery. He had been an outstanding defensive back. And also Nevin Mann out for tonight's game. So 3rd and long. And Coleman rolling to the near side. In trouble. Gets away from one man, but will be taken down shy of the first down as he was run out of bounds. Rich Colangelo and Steve Neves combining to bring him down as they got help in the secondary there and strung the play out nicely.
Well, Coleman is a good runner, but that time the Redmen strung the play out exactly the way it's written in the defensive playbook, stretching it out all the way to the sideline, obviously cognizant of the location of the first down.
So we'll get our first punt. Matt Cook or Paul Castle will be the punter. Looks like Castle is into the punting. He's punted 4 times for an average of 32.5. Mike Frazetta, a very good return man, standing back at the 20-yard line. Good snap, has time to get it away. Not a good kick. Line drives it downfield. It'll bounce inside the 25 and will die at around the 20-yard line. So good roll for pace on that short kick, Beasley.
Well, they got exactly what you want when you don't get a good kick. It bounced and went about 7 or 8 yards for them, and they'll have a good place to start from.
39-yard kick. A look at the offense. Sean Bannon will be starting at quarterback. Anthony Russo, we talked so much about him. Mike Robinson, the fullback. Jeff Long, their leading receiver. Anthony Iadivio. And Vince O'Grady, who has been playing defense all year, starting at the tight end. The offensive line, a good one. They've got veterans Bobby Dunlop and Mike Edney, the captain, along with Bobby Ferrand, another senior. So let's see what St. John's does. They've been running the ball quite a bit this year. And let's see what they do on first down here as they go up against the pace defense, which has given up a lot of ground. On the ground, Anthony Russo cracks off the left side of the line, crosses the 25. That'll be brought down by inside linebacker Willie Wortman. There is Sean Bannon. And Sean Bannon started the season, Beasley, as the regular quarterback, had trouble in the Iona game, got hurt in the next game, and Sharkey started the next 2 games, and Bannon came in and relieved him last week when they really struggled against Curry College, and he led a couple of drives, and Bob Ricketts says, I'm going to go back to Bannon tonight.
Well, they feel like Sharkey is the better natural athlete, but Bannon apparently makes the best decisions. He's a lot more experienced than Sharkey, so that's why he gets the nod here tonight.
7-yard pickup on that last carry. They'll go to the fullback, and Mike Robinson, looking for the first down, crosses the 30 up to around the 33-yard line before he's brought down. And it'll be a first down for the Redmen. Steve Jaffe picking up the tackle, and the defense, Bob Gibson, Jim Flynn, and Jim Milano up front. Not a big front three. Linebackers should be the strength of the club. And the secondary, perhaps right now, is the strength of the club with Dylan Patterson, Cliff Dirks, Gary Garrison, all experienced defensive backs and good ones. First and 10 at the 33-yard line for St. John's. Pro set in the backfield. Bannon again to Russo. Trips as he falls to the turf, Omni turf here, as he got to the 35-yard line. Look like he had a nice hole there had he not fallen down.
Well, he saw a nice little opening, tried to hit it a little bit too hard and fell down. We are seeing the Redmen team try to control things on the ground. A very good first couple of plays. They obviously, Coach Ricka, happy about what he's seeing so far. And, you know, this is that cat and mouse part of the game where the coach runs a couple of plays to see how the defense will react, what their game plan is, and tries to make adjustments from there.
2nd and 9 for the Redmen. Russo again gets the call, and good defensive play. They got some penetration at the line of scrimmage as he was tripped up by Gary Garrison. The free safety came up and nailed him right about the line of scrimmage, setting up a 3rd down play. 3rd and about, let's call it 8. Garrison out of Stamford, Connecticut, had a back injury, missed the post game, and led the team in tackles last year. 5'10", 160-pounder. He must be a good hitter at 5'10", 160 to lead the team in tackle.
Well, you don't want that for your safeties. Both safeties, in fact, last year led the team, one with 93 and Dirk is with 85. But that means that nobody's doing any work with the defensive line and the linebacker.
Bannon to throw for the first time. Throws to the near sideline. Iadivio juggled out of bounds and incomplete. So St. John's will be forced to punt. For the first time, and Anthony Iadivio, who juggled that ball. You see him there. He'll be doing the punting. The freshman from Valley Stream Central High School on Long Island, averaging only 31 yards a kick. They really miss Anthony Tricario, both in punting and place kicking. Liberty Conference All-Star for the last 2 years. Back to receive the kick is Patrick Dean. Kick will come from around the 25-yard line. He'll have plenty of time to get it away. End-over-end kick. Dean will take it at the 31-yard line. A lot of red shirts around him. And Dean will pick up about 3, maybe, to around the 33-yard line. 34-yard punt, 3-yard return, brought down by Bobby Dunlop. And there's Bob Baker, who was a star at Iona, is in the Iona Hall of Fame. Went to Iona in the late 60s, been head coach for the last 2 years after serving under George Mayer for several years as an assistant coach at Pace. So let's see what the Setters can do here on their next possession. 1st and 10 for Pace. The quarterback is Matt Coleman. On the option, he'll keep Coleman into the secondary and picks up about 10 yards. Matt Coleman, good bit of running there, and he had a good ball game against them last year, both running and passing in the 28-21 loss that Pace suffered against St. John's.
And you know, you remember things like that. It puts a little Ingram in your mind, that a little positive thing in your mind that helps you to come out and play a confident game. That was an excellent run. He stepped up into the hole with a lot of confidence. He had his, a nice little note here, his high school teammate McGinty trailing him for the pitch, but he didn't have to do so, just stuck it in and took it away.
Coleman has gained 15 yards on 2 carries, single setback, double wing formation here, and fumbling the football is Jaffe, loose ball, and we talked about the turnovers plaguing Pace. And here you go with a fullback who hadn't played fullback all year, an offensive guard, Steve Jaffe, and he put it right in the stomach there, and Jaffe coughed it up, but fortunately for Pace, this time they were able to recover the football.
You know, that'll make you a little nervous, especially when you're coaching a team that's put the ball on the ground 16 times already. You get your big man in there, you expect him to do some damage. He's obviously looking forward toward the hole and puts it on the ground.
Mike Cunningham with the hit, number 59, forcing the fumble. 2nd and let's call it about 12. Again, a single setback, double wing formation. They send a man in motion. That's Cassidy, number 80, and flags drop all over the field. I think they ran out of time, Bees, and might get a delay of game here.
One interesting thing about this Pace offense is you may see anything.
That delay of game.
Delay of game is the call from referee Ray Strite. And the officials working the game, veteran crew, and second time we've had Ray in that fine crew working a sports channel game. So it'll be 2nd and 17. This is what Pace did not want to be put into these kind of situations against that very aggressive St. John's defense.
They go to almost a 4-receiver spread formation here with Cassidy, their fine tight end, in the middle.
Rolling and looking for a man out of the backfield, McGinnity. McGinnity, very short gain. Carl Volpe, the good-looking freshman and right outside linebacker from Mount St. Michael High School in the Bronx, who's been a big surprise for St. John's, came up and made the play.
Now, Coleman and McGinnity have been together a long time. As I mentioned, they were high school teammates, so they've thrown that pass probably several times over the years. Didn't get anything out of it that time, though.
Pickup of 2 on that last play, so it's 3rd and 15 at the 39-yard line. 7:55 to go. First quarter, in case you're just tuning in, St. John's in red and Pace in white, and we have no score. Coleman with good protection. Now going to run out of room, runs to the sideline and out of bounds. So St. John's doing a good job of forcing him to the sideline. Ray Lambright, another one of those good-looking freshmen on defense. The end from Flushing out of Bayside High School with a nice defensive play.
Coleman had Kennedy there just for a moment. It's a very tough thing for a right-handed quarterback to do, to roll to the left, get his body around and get a pass off.
Well, I got flat on 5.
Mike Frisetta is back to receive the kick. It'll be the second punt coming from Paul Castle, standing back at his 31-yard line. It's a good snap. Again, not very much hang time here, and it's taken by the up man. And that was received by Kenny Bozier, number 80. And it'll be a first down for the Redmen at the 27-yard line, a 28-yard punt. It'll be 1st and 10 as the Redmen take over for their second possession. kind of unusual, Beasley, for those of us who have followed St. John's over the last several years with a great passing combination, to see them running the football, ball control team now.
Well, that's what every coach wants to do. I don't care what he says. If he's got the horses that will allow him to do the safest thing in football, and that's to put it in somebody's stomach and let him carry it, he'll do it. And that's obviously what the Redmen plan to do.
Russo behind the blocking of Mike Robinson, strung out as he picked up about 3 as he got to the 30-yard line. Gary Garrison again coming up with a good defensive play from the backfield in the secondary, and Jim Milana out of East Northport here in Long Island, number 79. As you look at that Pace defense, which 2 years ago really gave St. John's all kinds of problems here on this field, winning 10-3.
Sure. And held St. John's to only 3 points. And the St. John's team is a team that is accustomed to putting points on the board. They have never been shut out. That's the closest they've ever come since 1978.
Now blitz here, and they'll keep it on the ground. Russo trying to turn the right corner. And we're going to get flags all over the field. Maybe a face mask on the attempted tackle over there. Paul Castle came up from the secondary, number 26. Will Wortman putting pressure on, and we're getting a clipping call.
Yeah, when you motion the trips and you leave me by myself.
Rick, look at his eyes. They tell the story, Vase. Oh, no. You know, when you have a great passing attack, you can make up for those 15-yard penalties. But when you're ball control, it's a little harder.
That's a good point, but then the other side, the other edge of that sword is if you've got a good running game, normally you can get away with some good play-action fakes. So you'll probably see them fake it into Russo's stomach, and that'll, believe me, that'll draw a little attention.
And Ray Stripe with the clipping call. Now a play brought in from the sideline. Tommy Lenahan has checked into the ballgame, replacing Anthony Iadivio as a wide receiver, bringing in a play from the sideline. 2nd and 19 for the Redmen. The ball back at the 17-yard line. Passing situation for Sean Bannon. On the draw play, Russo to turn it outside, and Pace again with a good surge. Will Wortman, one of the men in on the tackle, but there is another flag on the play. Robert Gibson also coming up with the play. Gibson, second-team Liberty Conference All-Star, number 53. Ray Stripe conferring with his crew.
Okay, all right. He's got it. Right. Face mask on attack.
Face mask penalty called against Pace. And boy, when the defense is doing the job as they have done in the last couple of plays, you hate to see that happen.
Well, when you have them in a hole like that, you certainly don't want to see a penalty like that. Especially one like face mask, because it's such a major infraction. We see Russo here. He's just taking the draw play, trying to find an opening. Take a look. There it is. Great camera shot of the face. It's such a dangerous penalty also, and the defender never let go.
I think it was Bob Gibson, number 53, got his left hand in there. So passing situation here. 2nd down. Now they've moved the markers up, so it's only 2nd and 3 after that big walk-off. They go to the fullback, and a good hole for Mike Robinson. Has the first down as he gets to the 40-yard line. The 5'8", 195-pound senior out of Baldwin High School on Long Island. Injured his shoulder in preseason, missed a couple of weeks, brought down by Charlie Dora. Not before he picked up a first down. So the Redmen with the 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. 6:14 to go, scoreless first quarter. This Liberty Conference battle.
That's why, yeah, that's why they get
Liberty Conference play 0-2.
Come out, just semi-roll to the right or left. Okay, just semi-roll to start with. All right, let me see it.
Bob Baker talking to the offense. Mix up in the backfield, and they were blitzing on the play, and an outstanding defensive play by Charles Dora, number 36, the linebacker.
Charles Durham, it was almost like he was on the Redmen offense. That's what you call perfect timing. He obviously hit the hole at just the right time and really messed everything up. Now, see, the timing really isn't all that good. The offensive line should have had time to adjust. They did not do so, and he's part of the Redmen backfield.
Well, you saw Bannon and Robinson collide. There was a mix-up beyond the fact that they had a little help in the backfield from Mr. Dora to help mix him up. 2nd and 14, Bannon to throw. He's a good drop-back passer. Out of the backfield, complete to Mike Robinson. And he is hog-tied down at around the 43, 44-yard line. Charlie Dora, and Cliff Dirks combining to bring him down. But you've got to be impressed by the way Pace has gone to the football here. They're not looking like a team that's 0-4. They've come to play here tonight.
Well, you know, like you said earlier, they have a history of doing well here and doing well on this particular turf. And there's a confidence that a team brings into that situation. Even if you've got some young players who weren't a part of it, I'm sure that the coach uses that as a motivating tool during the week.
3rd and 6 for the Redmen, working out of the I formation. 2 wide receivers, right and left. Cannon looking. Slant pattern. There was contact as he was looking for Jeff Long, number 17. He and Dylan Patterson, number 8, the cornerback, collided. No flags, and they'll set up another punting situation.
Incidental contact is what they call that. The cornerback actually with good position, putting himself into the receiver's path and blocking and messing up the timing.
This will be the second punt for Iadivio. His first one went 34 yards. Dean is back to receive the kick, standing back at his own 20-yard line. As you see from our end zone camera. Gets it away. Good hang time. Dean calls for a fair catch at around the 16, 17-yard line, where Pace will take over 1st and 10. 39-yard punt, no return. So as we said, Bees, the defenses of both teams taking over here in the early part of this game. And we'll see what Pace can do.
We heard the coaches talking about what the Pace offensive plan of attack would be. They talked about half rolls, short rolls, so we can expect Brennan at some point during this series to make a half rollout and probably try to hit his big tight end Cassidy or one of the backs in short patterns into the flat.
Eric Frink has single coverage at the bottom of your screen. They'll keep it on the ground, however, and not get much. As the ball carrier is brought down, Jay McGinnity after a very short pickup. Rich Colangelo and Mike Cunningham combining on the tackle. Probably no gain at all, so let's call it 2nd down and 10 yards to go. As you pointed out earlier, Beasley, this St. John's defense gives up yardage begrudgingly on the ground. Less than a yard per carry.
That's .8. That's impressive.
About 28 yards a game they've given up. But again, as you also said, the opposition hasn't been that strong either. On the run, Coleman has a man out there, and he could not hang on to the football as he was looking for Pat Dean, number 86.
That's the short roll that we were talking about. When a quarterback rolls to one side or the other, you can expect as a defender, as a defense, the receiver to break in a similar pattern. Makes it easy for the throw. They just couldn't connect that time.
Coleman 2 for 3 for 37 yards. As you see, a play has been sent in from the sideline. Jim Taylor checking in, number 81. It is 3rd and let's call it 9.5. Coleman with that roll to the near side has a man open, and he fires complete to Frink for the 1st down. Frink found the seam there. He was open across the 30, and with those sure hands came up with the 1st down reception.
The short roll idea working once again, moving the pocket, giving the Pace offensive line time to block by moving the pocket. See how they move the pocket, and that messes up the rushing lanes for the defenders. And then Frink doing what he's done all year long. Now Frink is playing with a very tender ankle, yet he still concentrates and makes the catch.
Now rolling, Coleman in trouble, trying to dump it off, and whoa, that was nearly intercepted. Carl Volpe was over there along with Ray Lambright. Number 79, Lambright at 6'2", 240. The good-looking freshman almost had an interception.
The short roll that we've seen the last 3 plays is a strategy employed by the offense when they feel like they can't just match up man for man against the defensive line. So they move the pocket, messing up the rush lanes, and it's working so far. At least it gives Coleman the opportunity to get the pass off.
2nd down and 10. Coleman on the option, pitches, and trying to turn it outside was Andy Brzezowski, the freshman. One of the things we talked about earlier was that Coleman had the speed, but he didn't have the running backs on that option play that had as much speed as he had, and that creates problems, obviously.
Well, it throws off the quarterback-running back relationship when the quarterback outruns him. So Coleman is impressive. He's got good footwork, good balance, and the one time that he was able to turn up, he turned it up with the aggressiveness, not of a quarterback, but more of a running back, the way he turned it inside. It was very impressive.
3rd and 6 as they line up 2 wide receivers wide to the left. At the bottom of your picture, they'll roll the opposite side and won't get much. Coleman taken down. And it'll set up another punting situation. Scott Bider, the real fine inside linebacker in that 3-4 defense. He's one of the best in the Liberty Conference with the tackle. Mike Frisetta back in single safety, back at the 30-yard line. And Ken Bozier is also back there as the short man. Paul Castle will punt for the third time, averaging 33.5 yards in his first 2 attempts. See him standing back at the 30-yard line thereabouts. Again, a short kick takes a bounce. It'll be taken. And this guy Frisetta trying to pull away. But again, good coverage by Pace. Jerry Allmacher, number 57, one of the men on the play, along with Medrick Turby, number 34. 30-yard punt and a 3-yard return. So the Pace defense so far has been rather impressive, I would say, Beasley.
Actually, both defenses and both special teams have done a stellar job so far controlling field position. And that's it. You know, so far nobody's really made a blunder other than that one little fumble that we saw by the Pace running back, Jaffe, earlier, but they were able to recover their own fumble.
Under 2 minutes to go. St. John's with the ball, late first quarter, no score. Bannon with a little play action, in trouble, and will be pulled down by John Hankey, the right outside linebacker out of Harrison, New York, converted defensive back, one of the faster players on the team, and he pulled him down.
Now, John Hankey played the first 2 games of the season as a defensive back. The last 2 games of the season, he's played linebacker, so obviously he's got a lot of quickness. If he's able to cover as a defensive back, he comes open from the outside and has the balance to capture the quarterback. It's a great game.
9-yard loss for Mr. Bannon. Hankey, their most aggressive defensive player, we're told. Draw play. Here's Russo, stutter stepping, bounces off a tackle, and again swarming to the ball, those pace setters. Charles Dora, Willie Wortman, a couple of guys figured on the play. Let's go down to the field, and here's Carl Reuter.
Barry, you're looking at Dutch Ouderkirk, man on the right in the hat, and Scott Cesny, record-setting quarterback. Now, Dutch Ouderkirk, longtime assistant under Bob Ricketts. Scott Cesny, of course, graduating last year. Now, both very much still a part of St. John's football. Dutch, right here, the equipment manager, but both of them are talking about football on the sideline, discussing strategy, what they would be doing if they were in there. Very interesting. I wonder if Coach Bob Ricketts is listening to Cesny and his former coach, Dutch Ouderkirk. Barry?
I think he'd like to have both of them back on his staff. Dutch Ouderkirk, now the equipment manager here at St. John's. Bannon looking to throw, incomplete. Jeff Long was the intended receiver, and defending on the play was Dylan Patterson. Patterson upset. Beasley Reese, he thought he should have had that one.
Well, it hit him in the hands, and that's one of those, you know, late tonight, he'll wake up in his dormitory room and just look at the ceiling and say, man, I could have had the first big play of the game, maybe got something going for my team. Unable to do so that time.
Dean back to receive the kick. Castilli has punted twice, 37.5 yards a kick. The left footer drives this one downfield. Castle, watch it bounce. Makes a good bounce for St. John's, out of bounds at around the 23-yard line. So it's been a kicking game so far here in the first quarter with 20 seconds remaining. A 47-yard punt with no return.
It has been one of those games where nobody has really done anything offensively. Nobody's made any major blunders. So far, both teams have been able to keep the opponent in check, in good field position, defensively thinking.
All right, Frink lines up wide to the right. At the top of your picture, you see the time remaining in this first quarter. Coleman rolling, looking, has time, and throwing upfield that is complete for about a first down, up and around the 37-yard line. Pat Dean coming up with the reception. The junior who caught 10 passes last year, averaging 12.5 a game, and comes up with a nice reception right there.
That was nice. And in case you're trying to put a handle, a tag on this offense that Pace uses, speaking to them during the week, they call it just kind of a grab bag. You might see anything.
Coleman on first down, final play of the quarter, throws incomplete. He tried to drill it to the near sideline, had a couple of guys over there. Scott Kantrowitz was putting pressure as Pat Dean was the intended receiver.
On a running play, any running play, we want to be down. Just get quick, go on soundboard. We'll catch them. They're getting away with that half-ass stunner there. Dancing. What draw do we call?
Nick Rosato, offensive line coach, with his comments. We've played one, no score. We'll be right back.
It's unthinkable, but hundreds.
But the Redmen defensively have been outstanding again so far tonight. Let's see what happens here on 2nd and 10. Coleman on the option, pitching back and trying to turn it outside is McGinnity. Didn't have the speed really to break it upfield, and finally run out of bounds by right cornerback Milt Gasparis.
Very complicated offensive play, executed to perfection. Just the running back, as we've been talking for most of the night, just didn't have enough speed to get around the corner. About a 3-4 yard gain there, but a very fancy play, well executed.
Out over the ball will come center Jerry Allmacher, the sophomore from Peekskill, as they line up with a single setback. That's Steve Jaffe, the fullback, back there. And behind some blocking of Jaffe, Coleman throwing to the sideline. He had a man open, overthrew Jimmy Taylor. Not a well-thrown ball because Taylor was out there open in the flat.
Well, Pace has been able to find a couple of cracks in the Redmen armor, but not able to take advantage of it as yet. They had a man open there, and in a similar situation, and in the last series of downs, they had almost the same play wide open and missed it both times.
Coleman 4 for 8 for 34 yards. Punting situation here on 4th down. Paul Castle gets it away. They had a rush. Good hang time on this one. And trying to come up with the ball on the far side as it went out of bounds was Kenny Bozier. That was a tough catch either way.
Yeah, Kenny made what was a tough catch. That kind of messes up your average per return. I'll talk to him about that.
28-yard punt.
I mean, it was going out. It was going out of bounds at that same spot. I mean, he'll have to run a touchdown to get his average up now.
So Sean Bannon, the junior from Coram, who played very little behind Scott Cessny last year, started the season as the starting quarterback. His figure's not impressive. 11 for 28, 39% completion coming in. Pitches to Russo. Behind a good block. Got a nice block from Mike Robinson. And turns it outside and picks up about 5 or 6 yards. But Robinson, who's not big at 195, did a nice block, got down low, and gave him a couple of extra yards.
It was really a very near perfect technique on the block. The play was a very quick hitting play, and thusly allowing Russo to get outside and do what he does best, and that's work a little magic one-on-one. Nice gain for a first down. You can call plays now at 2nd and 3.
Iadivio.
Very difficult to defense this situation.
Iadivio out of the ballgame. Lenahan is in, and they'll keep it on the ground, trying to pick up the first down. And on the carry that time, Mike Robinson. Will Wortman and John Hankey combining to make the tackle, but not before St. John's picked up the first down up at around the 44-yard line. Make it the 43.
The defense was playing very soft that time because, like I said, 2nd and 3, you can call anything. It's a waist down. You can try to throw a bomb. You can try a trick play. So the defense was playing soft, and the first down was easy to get.
Again, they keep it on the ground. Russo at midfield, shoved out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. Setting up a 2nd down play. Will Wortman and Dylan Patterson bringing him down. There's a look at Russo. Not big, 5'8", 185.
Well, it's that perfect build, you know, down low to the ground, good balance. See him instinctively move the ball to the other hand. Fighting for yardage, good back.
4.6 speed. Tough as nails is the way Bob Rickett describes him. Slasher, and he's also elusive. And they'll keep it on the ground to Mike Robinson. Robinson, very little gain, maybe about a yard, setting up a 3rd down play. Jim Milana, number 79, and number 46, John Hankey on the tackle. So the Redmen faced with a 3rd and about a yard and a half. Scott Cessny got the best seat in the house. The quarterback who set all kinds of records last year.
I wonder what that ticket cost. That's a perfect angle. Look at that shot he's got there. Wow.
3rd down. Let's see what the Redmen do working out of the I formation. Look like a blitz coming here. They've got the linebackers up on the line. They go to Robinson, a quick hitter, and Robinson blasts for the first down. Good call that time by Bannon. as they went to the quick hitter, and Robinson picked up the first down.
Well, you can tell by the play calling that the Redmen obviously feel like they can handle Pace up front. They can match up man for man with the offensive line. Notice that they're not having to do the trick stuff that Pace is having to employ. Pace is having to roll the quarterback out, to do reverse pivot option plays in order to get something going. The Redmen are just lining up straight ahead and working.
Russo cuts back and will be down at the 41-yard line. Only a 3-yard pickup. Cliff Dirks, John Hankey stopping him. Mike Robinson, by the way, has carried 5 times already. That's one less than he had carried all season. He had been bothered by a shoulder injury. Here's a look at Cliff Dirks, who had 6 interceptions last year to set a school record. He's a good one, 6'1", 205, and he was a transfer from Northeastern, Cliff Dirks. 2nd and 7. He and Steve Jaffe, both captains, transferred from Northeastern. And a counter play, Russo pulled down as he got to the 36-yard line. It'll be shy of a first down by a couple. Charles Dora, the strong outside linebacker, with the tackle.
Just a counter hit by Russo. That's a very well-run play. I mean, it only gains a couple of yards, but I tell you, that's a nice little counter step. He comes crossing the field. Nice little gain.
3rd and a long 2. Russo trying to get the first down. Will not. Play took a lot of time getting on track. Cliff Dirks with some good penetration. And they also had John Milana with some penetration in the backfield. And Willie Wortman, number 99.
Well, you know they've got to go for this one. How can you tell your players all week long that we can match up man for man with these guys? We can go straight at them and not try to go for this 4th and 2. This will be a very interesting little test, a gut check. My offensive line is better than your defensive line. Let's find out who's right.
4th and 2 for the Redmen. Out of the I formation. Again, the linebacker is moving. And more movement on the line. Let's see. Clock shows no time left. And did the time run out, or was there an offside there or a legal procedure?
Back it up, Red.
Who? Delay the game.
Ray Stripe with the call, so that little bit of stutter stepping at the line of scrimmage by Pace threw St. John's off just enough.
Punt it, let's go, punt team, punt team.
Now they've got a punt. Now they're bringing the punting team in.
You know what? We don't work on that.
Yeah, all they had to do there was snap the ball. When one of those Pace players was jumping back and forth and tried to catch him, what they had gone in trying to do was make it a long snap count and see if they could get one of the defenders to make contact, thusly getting the first down via penalty.
Dean will take the Castilli kick at around the 8-yard line and is snowed under as he got to the 15 or 16. Mike Verzello, one of the tacklers, and ironically enough, it was Mike Verzello who was the center on that last play, who should have snapped the ball for St. John's a little bit earlier. That was a 33-yard punt, 7-yard return. It'll be 1st and 10 for Pace. 11:08 to go in the first half, and we have no score. Don't forget, St. John's will be in action next week against the Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy. And boy, Dennis Barrett's got that team playing well the last couple of games. A lot of points on the board, and they've had a couple of shutouts. We'll see that run and shoot offense next week here on Sports Channel. Last year, those two teams combined for a record-setting 65-45 game. And on the ball carry, tough to bring down over there, was Jay McGinnity, bouncing off a couple of tackles, but didn't make much yardage upfield as Rich Colangelo and Scott Biter finally brought him down.
Colangelo with his head in the right position to stop the forward progress, because that looked like it could go for about a 4-yard gain, but Colangelo with the perfect position, stopping him cold.
Well, Pace has rushed the football a little effectively here in the first half. Remember, St. John's had given up just about 28 yards a game to opponents. Out of the I formation on 2nd and 8. Back to throw. Coleman has time. He'll run with the football. And Coleman down as he got to the 23-24-yard line by Rich Colangelo. Oh, he likes to tuck that ball under his arm and take off.
He must not have had a good angle into Cassidy that time, because once again, Cassidy came open just over the middle, but it was only for a second. It's one of those situations where you have to let it go now. As Cassidy comes over right there, number 80 in the middle, But by that time, apparently he couldn't see him. Maybe he didn't have the right angle through all of the defenders.
Pace has gained 34 yards on 11 carries so far. Coleman 4 for 21. On third down, Coleman rolling left. He'll tuck it under, trying to dive for the first down, but he doesn't get it. Good play by Jamie Borg, the quarterback, who met him just before he got to that first down marker and drove him back.
Well, that's a very difficult position for a defender. You don't know if he's going to throw it. You don't know if he's going to run it. And just a good play to anticipate and go down low and stop all forward progress.
Borg, a junior, good size, 6'1", 190.
Take a look at the play here as Coleman rolls out to the left. The receiver really doesn't come clear, so one little pump fake and just sealed Cole, stopping all of the forward progress.
Castle to kick, standing back at around the 11-yard line. High snap, whistles blow. There was time left on the 25-second clock. Will they try to draw St. John's offside?
Illegal procedure. Offense.
That was what they were trying to do. Figure they only needed a couple of yards for first down. Not a bad call there.
It's really worth a try. It really is. Now, this is the first serious field position swing in the football game. St. John's has the opportunity now. If they can make the catch and not just let this ball roll around, but make the catch, they can get it past midfield and maybe have something working.
Line drive kick for center. Will take it on the run. Can he stay in bounds? He does, but look where he's driven back to the 23-yard line. Excellent defensive play. Pat Dean back there. What great coverage on the kick by Dean.
Well, so far the story of this game has been defensive play and special teams play. Good kick, kicking it away from the two return men. Got a good bounce, a pace bounce we'll call it, and then good coverage by the team to get down there and toward which would have been a great opportunity to get good solid field position for this good Redmen offense.
48-yard kick, and a little fortunate there that he did step out of bounds. Otherwise, he might have lost more yardage on that play.
Very true.
Russo in the backfield with Robinson. They'll go to Russo, slanting off the right side of the line, falls forward, but they've done an excellent job stopping Russo from breaking loose. He had a longest gain of 35 yards against Curry, but he's only been picking up 2, 3, maybe 4 yards. They've really keyed on him.
Well, the scary thing from a pace perspective is that it's very difficult to hold a good running back down like that all day long. It takes the ultimate effort. As you've been saying, everybody going to the runner, going to the football. If they can do that all night, they can keep him bottled up. But normally that's not the case.
Russo's gained 47 yards on 13 carries. This time they go to Robinson. And the fullback, who has been effective, picks up about 4. There's a hanky on the play, that yellow hanky. Dropped by one of the officials.
Holding. Offense.
Bob Ricker not going to be pleased with that call. Mike Noto on the last tackle, number 98. Bill McKenna leaves the game for pace, and that will keep this drive. As you look at Sean Bannon. Likes to throw over the middle. That's his best pass. Needs confidence. That's what the coaches were talking about. He hasn't developed that confidence here in his junior year yet. Sharkey, the freshman, a cockier kid, good athlete, but has had his problems too.
And then Bannon's probably a little bit worried about Sharkey.
2nd and 16 for the Redmen. 7:45 to go, scoreless first half. And again, Robinson, good hole. And Robinson showing some good power, picked up about 7 yards on the play, crossing the 35 to around the 38-yard line. Cliff Dirks and Gary Garrison, those good-looking safeties, coming up with another tackle.
You know, Robinson is quietly kind of sneaking up on a real good game here. All the talk has been about Russo, but those quick pops and very gutty, determined running by Robinson is starting to, make a little headway, catch some attention.
Third down. Oh, they're going to get almost an interception. He was trying to hit Mike Robinson. And the man who had his hands on the football, Willie Wortman, the inside linebacker, who's their leading tackler, he should have had that one.
That's opportunity number 2 that has been lost when it comes to a ball hitting the defender, a pace defender, right in the hands.
So another punt coming up here for Castilli. Dean back to receive the kick at around the 30-yard line. It'll sail downfield, and Dean will watch it bounce. You got to be careful on this OmniTurf, the AstroTurf, where you let a kick bounce, it could go 30 yards.
I tell you, it could go. There's no telling where the ball will go. You let it land on this surface, and it could bounce all the way down to the 1. It is sometimes it's smarter to have 2 receivers, 2 deep men, and let them spread across the field, so at least you can make sure that you field it. So far, neither team has chosen to deploy that strategy.
St. John's struggling offensively here. Scoreless, 6:55 to go. Pace takes over 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. Matt Coleman to throw on 1st down. Has time, avoids the rush, scampers to the left, has got the 1st down, and driven out of bounds down the sideline by Milt Gasparis. Pat Dean with a good block, number 86.
Tell you what, Coleman's got a little speed. I mean, that play kind of tells it all right there. The only word I can think of is spurt. He spurted when he hit that sideline. There was a certain explosion. 13-yard gain here. He doesn't like what he sees here. Nice little duck, and then right, not yet, but now you see the little explosion for about 4 yards that gets him forward.
Keep it on the ground this time to the tailback. And McGinnity picks up short yardage. Scott Biter on the tackle along with Frank Pawlowski as they combine to stop him at around the 40-yard line. It'll be a 2nd down play. Let's call it a pickup of 3, 2nd and 7. Clock is ticking with 6:25 to go. Well, 2 years ago, they played that low-scoring game here at Redmen Field. It was rain. It was terrible rain. The field conditions are perfect tonight, Beasley, but
that's right.
The score is about the same.
Can't blame it on anything atmospheric tonight. This is a perfect night for football.
Double wing formation. And Coleman, quick pitch to Tom Cassidy for the 1st down. The 6'5", 210-pound target, Tom Cassidy, brought down by Scott Biter.
Now, that was a play out of the run-and-shoot offense. They spread the receivers out. They sent the running back in motion. Then just a 2-step quick pop. You got a 6'5" target, a guy who's tied for number 2 on the team right now in receptions with 10 catches so far this year. So just an excellent play there. Something we'll probably see a little more of.
Cassidy, an outstanding lacrosse player, we're told has the best hands on the team. Again, tried. He's wide open. Cassidy runs over one guy and is down at the 26-yard line. Jamie Borg brought him down. So if you succeed once, why not try it again?
I tell you, keep doing it until they stop it. That's a super play there. 23 yards on the reception. Take a look. Just stands up, pop, quick pop into the tight end, and watch this little move right here. I like that for a 6'5" guy. See him step over? But, you know, that's where that lacrosse comes in. You got to have great feet and great balance to play lacrosse. And he's the school's all-time history of St. John's leading scorer.
He had a touchdown pass last year. Fake reverse. Coleman has got a man wide open downfield, and he's out there. Frink for the touchdown. What a play. Matt Coleman teaming up with Eric Frink for the 4th touchdown pass of the year. A 26-yarder, and the Pace Setters lead it 6-0.
Wow. What a play.
They burned Milt Gasparis on that one, and Eric Frink, who's had an outstanding year. We highlighted him at the open of the show. He's got 4.8 speed, not great speed, but the kind of kid that will come up with a big catch.
He's got a bad ankle, but somehow he snuck back in the back there. He burned everybody except for the sports channel photographer who was all over that thing. Oh man, super play. Let's take a look at the fake here and see if we can figure out the part of the success. Fake on the inside, fake on the reverse. The defense doesn't know what's going on. They don't know what to do right now. I tell you, my sister could throw that pass. Now we put it up high right in the corner. Look at that.
One happy young man over there. How about that? Eric Frink from Stormville, New York. Didn't play much last year. Finally said it.
Hopping all over the goddamn place when you make a good play. Expect you're gonna make. Penalty over there. Play the game, will you? Play it here. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Come on.
Well, there you see the huddle. Bob Baker's team fired up. They won only one game last year. They beat Stony Brook on a field goal in the final minute of play. Scott Plushow to do the kicking. Matt Coleman to do the holding on this extra point. Plushow 3 for 3 in extra points, and he drives that one beautifully right through the uprights. And Pace with an early, surprising 7-0 lead here in the first half.
Well, they didn't do it with mirrors. They did it with some good blocking, some good play. And I tell you, they call it Air Baker. And Air Baker, certainly the touchdown maker in that situation.
A look at Bob Baker there.
Now let's take a look at the move. He's going inside, acting like he's going to block, and then turns up, and I tell you, nobody sees him there but the referee and the Sports Channel Photog. Look at that shot. Everybody trailing. Nobody knows where to go. And then a little celebration. Coach was talking about that celebration. He said, expect to make big plays. Don't go crazy when you make a big play.
You know, we talked at the outset, St. John's without 2 of their starting cornerbacks, Nevin Mann and, of course, Johnny Del Rey. So you had Milt Gasparis, number 26, beaten on that play. Then Jason Villers, a very good safety, just trying to catch up, but far too late.
Well, that is part of the reason for the success of the play, and perhaps even part of the planning and the play calling. So we'll give that brilliance to the coaching staff and say that they recognize the fact that they've got some inexperienced corners out there, and maybe this thing will go. I tell you, it's got to be satisfying from a coaching perspective also. You work on something like that all week. You say, you know, they got this guy hurt, this guy just had a knee operation. Let's draw a couple of things up on the board. If it works, it'd be great, and then to see it work.
Now, St. John's had yielded only 32 points coming into this game, an average of 8 a game. Pace had scored only 33, an average of 8 a game. And so they have taken the early lead. As you see, the offensive unit gathered around the coaching staff. And now Scott Plushow getting ready to kick off. And we sensed early that Pace defensively had come to play here. The gang tackling was swarming to the ball.
Sure.
And the history of the two teams, this is the 13th meeting. St. John's has won 7, Pace 5, so it has been a close rivalry. Redmen have Anthony Russo deep along with Chuck Broadway, another speedster. Broadway will take it at around the 18-yard line, the freshman from North Babylon High School. Good hold, he's into the secondary, and a fine return to the 45-yard line for Chuck Broadway. 4.7 speed, a little slower than Russo, but they like him.
Well, he used every bit of that 4.7 that time, and he got the Redmen into the perfect position.
All right, that's scoring summary. 6 plays, 75 yards, minute and 45 seconds. Of course, the big play, the touchdown pass, Matt Coleman to Eric Frank. So let's see what the Redmen do here. With 5 minutes to go in the first half, trailing 7-0. Sean Bannon has remained in at quarterback. In the I formation. And they go to the fullback, who's been their most effective runner. And that quick hitter, as he gets to midfield, picks up about 5.5 yards on the play before Jim Milano and John Hankey made the stop.
He's got very active feet, very determined demeanor when he carries the football. You got to enjoy watching that.
Mike lost about 20 to 25 pounds. He was a stocky 5'8", 220-pound kid. He seems a lot quicker now, a little more agile.
Certainly.
Here's the pitch to Russo behind Robinson around the right side. Excellent defensive play as he spun around and brought down by Cliff Dirks.
Well, you can gain all the yards you want to gain traveling east and west, going left and right. And so far, Pace has been able to do a very good job of stretching the Redmen to the left and to the right.
3rd and 6 at the 49-yard line. Passing situation for Sean Bannon, who has completed only 1 pass, 1 out of 5, a 6-yard reception. Clock ticking, under 4 minutes to go, first half. St. John's trailing 7-0. Bannon with plenty of time. Has a man wide open. Jeff Long has the first down as he's hog-tied down by Cliff Dirks inside the 45-yard line at the 43.
Well, you said that he throws over the middle very well. He's got a lot of confidence doing that. The offense was designed that time to drag people from opposite sides of the field slowly all the way across. So Bannon, all he has to do is wait for somebody to come open in the middle. There it is. He sees it. Nice little pop. Keeps it down low so the receiver doesn't get hurt. He's got time to just kind of make a basket catch. And obviously the receiver knowing where the first down marker is.
And again over the middle as he throws complete to Anthony Iadivio. And the freshman has the first down inside the 30 at around the 26-yard line. Brought down again by Cliff Dirks.
Well, that passing history of the Redmen coming into play here. They obviously have a history of putting the ball up in the air and doing so very well the last two plays.
Iadivio, after making a nice catch and run, leaves the game. Replaced by Tommy Lenahan, number 45. He lines up wide to the right at the top of your picture. Long wide to the left at the bottom. Blitz here. And they go to Russo. No hole. Tries to cut back. And he is pulled down for about a 2 or 3 yard loss.
I tell you, one thing they've done with Russo is they've got him where he's not sure where the hole is going to be. He's searching, moving more left and right and north and south because of the activity of the Pace defense. That's a wonderful word for a defense, active.
2 yard loss, 2nd and 12. Lenahan lines up wide to the right as you look at the defense, which has been outstanding for Pace here. He has time, Bannon. Over the middle, complete to Long, and a fine open field tackle as he's tripped up by number 99, Willie Wortman. And Dean Helm was putting some pressure on. It'll be shy of the first down. Setting up a 3rd down play here. 3rd and 7, but a good tackle in the open field by Willie Wortman.
Very good tackle. Now that's the negative about these plays over the middle. At some point, you're going to see a receiver really get hit hard, or someone really time it well and intercept it.
Big 3rd down play for St. John's. 3rd and 5. They go to Russo off the right side of the line, and he will not get the first down. Gets to the 20. Pickup of 3. Needed a couple more as Paul Castle came up from the secondary with the stop. Another interesting play call for St. John's. Their kicking game is not that good, Beasley. They've struggled this year with the kicking game. Well, what are they going to do, do you think, here? As they go to the sidelines with a minute 47, they call timeout.
Yeah, nobody's going to the field right now. I'm sure that they're still in a situation right now that they don't know exactly what they're going to do. Everybody's huddled up. Coaches are conferring. They're talking to the kicker. You think you can make this thing. They're talking to the offense. What do you think we should do? So I love this part of football.
Well, Bob Ricca obviously listening to a couple of his assistants, which were unable to pick up right there. And the band also.
24 on the short side, gotta get the first down. 9 over here to the wide side. All right? 9 or 1 to the wide side. 9 or 1 wide side. Left, right? 4 to the short side. Hey, 20. Good job.
Nick Rosado with that closing comment to his offensive line. Do a good job.
Yeah, well, that's a very good suggestion in this situation. Now, he said 24 or 9 or 1 to the right side. Now, that would lead me to believe that either he's telling his quarterback to walk up to the line of scrimmage and make an audible, or this is a pass play.
4th and 3. Iadivio and Long are flankers wide to the right and left respectively. Back to throw. Bannon looking for Iadivio. Has the first down at around the 16-yard line. So the freshman out of Valley Stream Central High School, who has 4.7 speed, catches the pass good enough for the first down at the 16-yard line.
Well, that was major. That was what you call big. Tough situation. A must-make situation. He kept the ball low and to the outside where it couldn't be intercepted. Only his player could get to it.
1st and 10 at the 16. Russo behind Robinson. Cuts up field. Dives to around the 10-yard line. Pickup of maybe 7 on the play. Timeout. Bob Ricca wanted to call a timeout. And he gets it. Cliff Dirks with the tackle. St. John's will call their 2nd timeout of the half.
Hey, Robbie. 2nd and 5.
Clock stops with a minute 19 to go. As the Redmen try to tie the game here.
No, how many timeouts? What are you talking about? One left.
One more timeout left, apparently.
He's losing a football game, so I think you're wrong. You to shut him out. They didn't play football.
The guy's perfect right away.
Okay, we're going right down.
One timeout left.
Get out and get down.
All right. All right, let's run. Second down.
Second and 5.
Let's go ice left on this play. Get right back over the ball.
All right.
All right? And 20s. Short side, either 20, 24. Wide side, a 1 or a 9. All right?
Okay, so you're going to be in pro right, go down.
Wide side, 1 or 9. Short side, 24. Right now, you're going to ice left. Go right, ice left.
Now this was the 24, 1 or 9. They went to the 9 to the quick out on the outside. A great catch, feet in bounds. Now they have called 2 plays in the huddle. They will step up and run an ice left here, which is probably a pitch.
And they'll keep it on the ground here. And a good pickup inside the 10 to around the 6-yard line. Anthony Russo with the run. Clock now stopped momentarily, 1 minute and 11 seconds. Bob Gibson on the tackle.
And now we'll see the 24, 1 or 9. No, the defense is going to try to stop it.
And they'll call timeout pace. They wanted to get settled there. You saw changes being made, last second changes, and that'll give Sean Bannon a chance to come over and confer with Coach Ricca. Bannon had a bruised back, missed the Stony Brook game, won by St. John's earlier this year. St. John's opened beating Iona in an upset, 21-14. Beat Siena 35-12. It was unimpressive here at home, beating Stony Brook 21-0. Very unimpressive last week, beating Curry 13-6. In fact, they needed a 4th quarter long touchdown run by Russo to win that game.
You run a blast. All right, you run the blast. 111. Just get right back on the ball. And do the 20 series. Don't call timeout.
It's going to be our regular, not no Brooklyn.
All right?
Not Brooklyn. Regular offense.
Go right.
All right. Yeah, we're on short push. What?
Yeah,
short push, but not real short. Yeah, right. Shorter than normal, but not goal. Right. So what play you want the ice? Yeah, ice.
No, blast.
No, check.
Jack!
Come here. Okay, we want to go pro left. Let's go left.
All right, you heard the call. Throw left, blast left. They're just going to try to punch it in and see if they can out-muscle, out-man, straight up in there and get a touchdown. If they don't get it, they're going to come back and run another play back-to-back.
First and goal from the 6-yard line. Russo trying to get to the end zone, and not letting him get away was Willie Wortman, number 99, had his arm draped around him and would not let him break loose. Clock ticking, 58 seconds to go and the goal to go.
Now we'll see the 20 series, probably a pass play to number 44 to the right side. That's my guess.
Bannon looking left, going right now, looking for Iadivio, who's out there. Touchdown! He beat John Hankey, the linebacker, on that play, and Anthony Iadivio comes up with the touchdown to make it 7-6. That is his 2nd touchdown catch of the season. Worked perfectly.
According to plan.
Coach Reese.
Hey, no, I'm just listening and kind of dissecting the calls.
Castelli to try the extra point. He's missed a couple this year. 5 for 7. Puts it through the upright, and we have a tie game at 7-all with 45 seconds to go in the first half. There's the man of the hour, Anthony Iadivio. But give credit to Sean Bannon on that last drive, Beasley. He was 5 for 5.
I tell you, he really came up big, especially the last 2 pass plays. The big first down play to Iadivio, just a perfect out, and then this play, he's got to drop it over the defender's shoulder, and this is the only spot he could throw that ball and not have it knocked away. Just a great pass. That is the 127th straight game in which St. John's has scored. They have never, ever been shut out since they started varsity football in 1978.
13 years Bob Ricca's been at the helm, and a very impressive record of 80 wins, only 45 losses, and a tie. So we're tied at 7 apiece with 45 seconds remaining. Pat Dean will be the deep man, along with Paul Castle, as the Redmen march downfield, led by Sean Bannon. That's what you like to see, where a quarterback can take the hold of it, the team scores, and you look for that to build confidence.
That's what dreams are made of. That kid will never forget that, and like you said, he'll really get a big confidence boost from this game.
Ball was headed out of bounds, but was played by Pace. Number 7, Mark Klausner, coming up with the ball. And that drive for St. John's, 12 plays, 56 yards, a little over 4 minutes and some 18 seconds. And Iadivio, the 3-yard touchdown pass from Sean Bannon, and the extra point by Castillion. We're all deadlocked at 7 apiece. What about Pace now with 45 seconds remaining? A couple of timeouts. You think they're going to risk going for the long one here?
I doubt it. I doubt it. I would think that with 45 seconds, they'll try something. I would try something on the first play. If I got something going, maybe I'd back it up with another risky attempt. If I don't get anything going on this first play, then I would be satisfied taking my 7-7 tie into the locker room, reevaluate, make some adjustments, and see what we could do.
Coleman is 7 for 11, 93 yards, 1 touchdown, but most importantly, no interceptions. And Pace has not turned the ball over so far. Scott Cessny had to be impressed by Sean Bannon on that last drive. He was the understudy, Bannon, last year to Cessny. They're going to try to run or throw, but they will not get away from Ray Lambright, number 79. He played that end position beautifully over there, along with Vince O'Grady and Mike Cunningham.
Well, the only thing that I don't like about that play is that they sent the receivers deep down the sideline. In this situation, you got to know that the defensive backs are playing like Ellis Burks. They're playing so deep like a center fielder in baseball right now. You know, you get a little bit of this, maybe 20, they won't get anything.
Well, they let the clock run out wisely, I think, on that last play. And if you're Bob Baker, you got to be pleased. Here's a club that was blown out the last couple of weeks. They lost to Pace, to Post 36-7, to Kings Point 29-0. Here they are playing very tough football. I think what happened in that Post game, they gave up 33 points in the first half. Second half, their defense came up big, and I think that's carried over so far today. Let's go down to the field, and here is Carl Reuter.
All right, Barry, thanks very much. You needed that late touchdown.
We sure did, Carl. We were hurting ourselves in the first half. We had penalties, a missed assignment. Each drive, we'd do something well, but then we'd make a big mistake, and that we self-destructed. That was really big for us, key. I think we're going to have some momentum now coming back in the second half.
This Pace club, Bob, is not playing like they're 0-4.
Well, they're always this way for us. We told our kids beforehand. We know that. Every year, it's a dogfight between us and them.
Adjustments in the second half. What are you going to do?
Well, right now, I think we're going to keep throwing the ball over the middle a little bit. We found a soft spot. We'll see what they do. If they adjust, to take that away from us. But they're giving it to us at this point, so we're going to stay with it.
You think it'll be a battle throughout this game?
I believe it will go right down to the wire.
Good luck second half, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Bob Ricka, he goes off. His team on the late touchdown. They've tied it up here at Redmen Field. We're all knotted up at 7 apiece, Pace and St. John's. Now, coming up when we come out of this break, you'll see an up-close look at Bob Ricka, longtime coach here at St. John's. So stay with us.
Frank Ramapo hosting Jersey City State tomorrow. Big win. Yards Pace, but they did a good job stopping the rushing. And on the other side, Pace did a good job shutting down Mr. Russo. He did get 62 yards, but 19 carries, just about 3 yards a pop.
Yeah, well, they've got to feel very good about the way they've played against Russo. Both quarterbacks should feel very good about the way they played in the first half. And I tell you what, we've got a ball game.
For a change, we've got a tight ball game.
We've got a ball game between two teams who obviously are coming out of that locker room pumped up, feeling like it's anybody's game. Pace has got to feel very good about the way that they played against an undefeated St. John's Redmen team at their home place.
Well, after going 1-9 last year and 0-4 this year, they would love to beat St. John. Chuck Broadway is deep to receive the kick. He returned one earlier along with Anthony Russo. Standing back at the 5-yard line, Scott Plushow putting this one down. And then fumbled by Broadway. Picks it up, stumbles as he crosses the 25. Down the 30, 35, and out of bounds. Chuck Broadway, by dropping that ball, that seemed to help him on that play.
It was almost like a plan. It was almost as if he said, okay, let me drop this thing, get the rush lane just a little bit off, kind of a delay, like a counter. And he ended up, that's 2 nice returns for him.
Let's see what Sean Bannon does. He did an excellent job on that last drive for St. John's that tied the game. Out over the ball, number 53, Mike Verzello. The guards are Anthony Capek, 66, and Mike Edney, 58. The tackle, 67, Bob Dunlop, and 76, Bob Ferranda. Bannon to Russo, gets the hole off the left side. He's at midfield, and he shows that quick speed as he got across midfield. Got the block by Robinson, just held up his man long enough for him to cut inside.
And if you noticed, he used his blocking to perfection. He got every inch that he could possibly get out of that play.
13-yard pickup, longest run of the night for Russo, as Charles Dora heads out of the ball game as a linebacker for Pace, and is replaced in the ball game by Matt Cook. Now timeout is going to be taken here, so Pace having to waste a timeout. A little confusion there on the defensive set.
Well, I don't know what it could have been. I see one of the defensive coaches walking out to have a discussion, but this is very early to let that timeout get away.
And look at the quarterbacks. Both came on strong late in the second quarter to put up some decent numbers after struggling, both of them, in the first quarter. They did not fare well. And now Cliff Dirks has returned from the sideline as Bob Ricca tries to get the Redmen going here. It'll be a 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. Bob Ricca, who was Liberty Conference Coach of the Year last year. They were 9-2, the Redmen. Won the Liberty Conference Championship. Go set in the backfield. Now looks like a blitz coming again. Here's Russo into the secondary. Bounces off a tackle and dragged down by Will Wortman. But not before he burst into the secondary for another big gain, this time an 18-yard pickup, as the Redmen are moving the ball smartly on the ground.
It's very difficult to keep a good man down, especially when you're talking about a guy who knows he's supposed to get a couple of 100 yards. Good blocking downfield. You see one player spinning from the ground. Good two-legged gathering to come out of that tackle. Russo is a talented running back.
Mike Edney and Mike Robinson providing good blocks on that last play. They'll work out of the eye, keep it on the ground for Russo. Stumbles, but makes a nice gain out of the play and carries inside the 20, carrying a couple of guys to the 16-yard line. Another first down, another about 15-yard pickup by Russo. I don't know what he ate or drank in the locker room.
I tell you what, whatever he had in the locker room, I want some for the drive home tonight. This kid came out of there just pumped up, exploding. It's like the coach challenged everybody on that team, the offensive line and the running backs, and they are responding.
1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. Must have been some pretty good Gatorade over there. A counter play for Russo. Stumbles but falls forward like the good running backs do. Jim Milana brought him down, number 79, as he picked up a couple of yards on the play. In talking to the coaches, they talk about Manny DeSantis, who last year set the single-season rushing record of over 1,000 yards, breaking Dennis Blyden's record. They say he's much better than DeSantis was at this stage as a freshman.
Well, that is quite the compliment, and he has time to develop his skills. Just a super guy, and will probably be rated at near the top of Division III football before this season's over if he keeps.
2nd and 9, looking for Jeff Long, a diving catch at the goal line. Wow. Touchdown!
Wow!
Arguing the call, Dylan Patterson, a 16-yard touchdown, and that was a page out of Mr. McDermott and Cessny. Beautifully thrown ball and an outstanding catch by Jeff Long, who's got some good height, 6'2", and Dylan Patterson appears to be shaken up as he heads to the sideline for Pace.
Well, Jeff Long has played good all season long. He came into this game with 11 catches for 184 yards and 4 touchdowns, so we just witnessed touchdown number 5.
Here's the boot. Not pretty, but he got over there, and that's all that counts. So Rob Castilli with a second extra point, and the Redmen strike quickly to start the second half. It only took a minute and 46 seconds, and this is a page out of St. John's past where they would go down quickly and score last year and the year before.
Well, that was a very impressive drive, and even more impressive was the catch. Now let's see if we can figure this thing out. Quarterback goes back looking straight up the field, turns his head to the side at the last second. Look at this catch. Defender all over him. After further review. After further review. But look at the ref. He's in the perfect position. Here is the angle. This angle will tell all. Quarterback looking straight up the field. Turns his head at the last second, keeping the defenders from sliding over to help, creating a one-on-one situation. Let's just look at this. I tell you,
Did the ball hit the ground when he came down? Did he have possession? The official was looking right at it. Dylan Patterson, who got up and was upset with the official's call, has an ankle problem. We'll see if that will keep him out of the ball game. Now Pace returning the kick. Number 35, Scott Catronio, brings it back across the 30-yard line to the 33.
I tell you, that bears looking at again here. I don't know.
That ball might have been on the ground when he...
I'll tell you. But look at the ref. Look at the position. I tell you, when a man's in that position, I can't argue with him.
Long has 3 catches for 30 yards, including the touchdown catch to put him ahead. So Bannon has thrown 2 touchdown passes today. Out of the I formation, Coleman throwing, and to the sideline. It's going to be ruled incomplete. Steve Neves on the coverage as he was looking for number 86, Pat Dean. 5 plays, 60 yards, just a minute and 39 seconds, and big plays, of course. Russo, 4 rushes for 46 yards on that drive to set up the touchdown pass, a 16-yarder from Mr. quarterback, Mr. Bannon.
Russo certainly putting his team in position there, coming out like a madman out of the locker room, running very well.
2nd and 10 from the 34. Coleman gets some good blocks. Throws, he got a man complete upfield, fumbles the ball after making the catch. They're going to rule the completion. Jason Villar with a stinging hit as the ball was coughed up by Frink, who caught the ball on his knees.
Well, that was ugly. Frank, they may have to tell Frank what his name is over there after this one. Take a look at this. Bam, wham. Now,
sandwiched.
Yeah, that was ugly.
Villar and Colangelo were the 2 guys who hit him. And they are big hitters, both of them. Ball at the 46-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Pace Setters, trailing 14-7, early 3rd quarter. Out of the eye, fumble, and Coleman missing the exchange over there. Scott Kantrowitz has fallen on the football. There he is, number 30, the sophomore from Yonkers High School. Jaffe and Coleman on the exchange over there had problems. And fired up Scott Kantrowitz comes up with a turnover. What we had talked about, Pace not committing any turnovers in the first half. And boy, here's one early here in the second.
Well, that's fumbling turnover number 17.
Again, a new fullback, a guy not used to the exchange between the quarterback and the fullback, Jaffe. Remember, he fumbled earlier, and they were able to recover that one. Keep it on the ground for Russo. He starts this drive the way he did the other, and he may go. They're not going to catch him. 44-yard touchdown run for Anthony Russo. Picking up where he left off last week when he ran for 216 yards as he broke by Charlie Dora and Gary Garrison.
Well, we talked about it. It's hard to keep a back like that bottled up all afternoon, all night long. He's the type of guy that's going to keep knocking at the door. It would take that consistent, relentless, attacking pursuit from the defense that they were giving in the first half to keep him from doing what we see that he plans to do here in the second half.
Castilli drives it through the uprights, low snap, but a good spot there by the quarterback, Jason Villar, the backup quarterback. And St. John's with 2 quick touchdowns, 2 minutes, actually 2 minutes and 34 seconds into the second half has opened up a 21-7 lead. So that offense, which had been dormant the last couple of games, comes alive here in the second half.
But it doesn't get any better than this. Look at the offensive line first. Pushing forward. Look at the hold. Look at the perfect decision by Russo. Look at the missed tackles. I tell you, a lot of great offensive plays are simply bad defense. And we see there 2 guys missed the tackle. Can't take anything away from Russo, though. Beautiful touchdown.
2 normally excellent tacklers, Gary Garrison and Charlie Dora.
Wow.
Now watch 49.
Look at that.
That's Garrison. 36 is Dora.
Let me tell you something. A coach will run that over and over again, and he'll say, look at this. And it'll drive the defenders crazy, but, man, that's one that shouldn't happen.
One thing they want this guy to do is improve his hand so he can catch the football. And he'll be an all-purpose.
He'd be a dangerous man, wouldn't he?
St. John's likes to throw to their backs. Castle will take it, stumbles across the 30, and wrestled down by number 79 for St. John's. Coming up with the tackle was Raymond Lambright. So Pace kind of got to be shocked right now here. They come out 7-7 first half, and boom, they're down by 2 touchdowns. Sean Bannon's pretty happy right now. Fired up young man. He struggled that first quarter, but has come alive.
Well, he should be happy. That was a super drive. Bannon, Russo, and company.
Coleman in trouble and will be sacked. Vince O'Grady coming up with the sack, number 39.
Well, this is a team that averages about 4.5 sacks a game, and that is demoralizing for an offense. And they are suddenly in motion as a defense. The offense has fired the defense up.
Frank Pulowski also in on that last play. There you're looking at number 59 on that St. John's defensive unit. Nose tackle Mike Cunningham. Well, they've allowed their almost 8 points a game. They don't allow any more right now. They're giving up their 7. Coleman in trouble, and he is taken down by Carl Volpe, the freshman outside linebacker. We talked about St. John's with 18 sacks in 4 games coming in. That's their 2nd sack in a row here. Let's go down to the field, and here's our colleague, Carl Reuter.
All right, Barr, I just went over and I talked with Jeff Long, and I said, Jeff, did you catch that ball? And he said, yeah, I did. I said, did you catch that football? He said, no, I didn't catch that football. He said, but they owed me a couple from the past games that we've gone. And I went over and I asked Dylan Patterson, and he was a little bit more serious. I said, Dylan, what was the situation? He said, I heard the ball bounce, hit the turf, and go up into his hands. He said, the referee said he caught the ball, but 2 different stories from both guys that were involved in the play. Jeff Long says he did catch the ball.
All right, Carl, good work. Coleman looking to go to his favorite receiver, Eric Frink, but underthrows him. Jamie Borg on the coverage. So it'll be now 4th and 25, and very quickly this game slipping away from pace after a real solid first half. And real solid, you look at the first half, 28 minutes of that first half.
Just a very well-played first half, and then the only word that you can think of is suddenly. Suddenly here in the second half, St. John's has come alive, and it seems like everything that they do is working.
Castle with a nice spiral kick, sending Frazetta back. He'll have to play it on the bounce. And wow, what a defensive play in the open field by the Pace setters. Number 49, Gary Garrison. That kick's going to go 49 yards at a -3 return.
Once again, it is so important to field the ball. It is so important to have a return man or put 2 or 3 people deep to make sure that you don't get that long roll, the long bounce that this AstroTurf will allow.
Anthony Russo has gained 152 yards and 24 carries.
Suddenly,
indeed. At 131 against Siena, 216 last week against Curry. Russo will try it again. And like the good backs, there was no hole, but he was able to fall forward and pick up a couple of yards. Dean Helm with some good penetration in the backfield. It'll set up a 2nd down play. Mike Noto also in on that last play. St. John's will make some substitutions right now. Vince O'Grady coming in, number 39, at tight end, replacing Pat Costello. There's Dylan Patterson, who was right there on the play. He argued and was right, probably. He's the hardest hitter on the team. Burned on that touchdown, or supposed touchdown. Russo again cracks for a couple of yards, but Pace shut the hole down very quickly. Cliff Dirks, who's played a real solid game, coming up with the tackle. he may be an all-Liberty Conference player as he was last year again.
Oh, my goodness, these two guys are still upset with each other. One saying, I caught that ball. The other one saying, I'm going to show you didn't. I'm going to beat you.
You have confrontations like that, Beasley?
Oh, of course not. I never did anything.
3rd and 6. Long is wide open. He goes to Long across the middle, that favorite crossing pattern, as the defense really played soft there, and he was wide open for a good 7-8 yards. Finally, Garrison and Cook brought him down, but Jeff Long with his 4th reception, a 17-yarder, good for the first down.
Long is beginning to put on a little bit of a show here. He's caught 3 or 4 of those little passes over the middle, a testimony to his courage and resolve to keep taking those licks and going in there still catching the ball.
Draw play for Russo. Ball's forward, close to midfield. It'll be about a 3-yard pickup. Dean Helm brought him down. The thing about Jeff Long is that he's a junior, missed the last 2 years, played as a freshman, didn't play for the last 2 years, and he'll leap for the ball, and we've seen that, and he'll go get the ball in traffic as well, and that's the sign of a good receiver. St. John's has been blessed over the years with those kind of receivers.
I bet he wishes that he hadn't lost those other 2 years, because in 5 games now, he's got 5 touchdowns.
Bannon in trouble, and he overthrows the intended receiver, Mike Robinson. Pressure put on by Jim Milana, number 79. And Will Wortman, one of the few times that Bannon's been under pressure here, he had completed something like 7 passes in a row prior to that incompletion.
Well, Pace is not backing off. They're doing a lot of blitzing. They are an attacking defense still. And I hope they realize that they are one play away, one good defensive play away from being right back in this game.
3rd and let's call it about 7. Split backfield, and to Russo. Russo stutter stepping, has the first down as he picked up about 9. He hits the hole, and then he's got the good vision of the good running backs to look for that additional crack to see where he can break it outside.
And that's a difficult play that he's running when it comes to having vision, because it's a counter slicing play and very difficult for him to see upfield because he's running laterally by the nature of the call.
Russo has scored 6 touchdowns this year, all on the ground. 1st and 10 for St. John's at the 43-yard line. Looks like a blitz coming here. Bannon looking for that slant pattern to Long, and this time Dylan Patterson knocked the ball back about 10 yards. He said, nope, you're not going to make that one on me.
Dylan is an upset young man. He feels like he was robbed on that touchdown play. Now he's man for man here. It's a blitz situation. He makes the break. Vision on the ball, almost had it. It bounced off of his shoulder pad. Oh my goodness, we're going to see a little tussle all night long between those two.
He's a little high-strung, very tenacious, aggressive player. Little guy at 5'7", giving away 7 inches, Beasley, to Jeff Long. Long at 6'2". Draw play. This time the defense had it well diagnosed. John Hankey, number 46, stopping Anthony Russo. Hankey doing a good job. Had an outstanding game last week against Post. So it sets up a 3rd down play, and will Bannon go in the air with 3rd and 10 here?
3rd and 10, I would think that he would, and you know what? I wouldn't be too surprised if it wasn't our classic little matchup down here.
Looking for Long down the left sideline. Now he cuts over the middle, and it'll be picked off. Gary Garrison with the interception, and they needed that big defensive play, and they come up with it. Garrison brings it back to the 46-yard line, and Pace will at least have some good field position right here as Bannon throws the interception. That's his first of the game.
Well, that's the first bad throw, bad decision that he has made. He was waiting. He had predetermined that he was going to throw this ball to Long. Great read by the safety. I mean, he just abandoned all of his coverage responsibilities, ran up in there and made the interception.
Well, let's see if Pace can take advantage of the turnover. Coleman will keep it on the ground. Jaffe bounces off a tackle and pile drives his way for a couple of yards across midfield. Ray Lambright on the tackle along with Scott Biter. Jaffe, a transfer from Northeastern, one of the captains on the team from Old Tappan, New Jersey. Strongest player on the team. Moved him to fullback from guard position because they needed some help blocking back there for Coleman. Now he gets the block he needed. Throws for the sideline. It is going to be complete to Cassidy. Wrestled out of bounds. No, Frink it is. Frink with the fine reception. That's a tough pass to complete. Got to throw it a long way, too, to pick up 10 yards.
Geometrically, it's a very difficult completion. Watch him put all of his body into this. And just kind of lean back, puts his back into it. Still a semi kind of an ugly pass. But it floats, it has enough power on it to get it there before it's intercepted.
Straight up the middle, bursting and almost breaking it with Steve Jaffe. Just got not out of the reach of Vince O'Grady, the real fine linebacker who's been double shifting today. He's been playing as an offensive end, tight end. And O'Grady, one of the leaders in sacks on the team with 8. Almost didn't corral the big guy there, but he hung on for dear life.
Well, the big guy is right. It looks like he's a load. He's a load.
235. And there's Vince O'Grady, 6'3", 220 junior. Coleman under pressure, and he will be taken down. No, throwing it downfield. Carl Volpe looked like he was going to get Coleman. Eric Frink got open, and somehow Coleman was able to get the ball to Frink with Volpe right in his face.
Well, that was a great catch. It was nothing but fingers. He did not have the opportunity to corral it, to catch it in his body. He had to reach out. Look at his hands. Reach out in traffic with people flashing and dashing in front of him and pull it in. That's a great catch.
Frink has caught 5 passes for 81 yards. Big drive here. They'll pitch it now, trying to turn it outside. Down into the corner over there, Jay McGinnity. And McGinnity inside the 10-yard line. And as they unpile over there, looks like Scott Biter, number 57, gets up. Milt Gasparis also in on the tackle. There's a look at Eric Frink, the junior from Stormville, New York. Last year caught only 7 passes. This year he's been the whole story. What a difference a year makes.
Well, he has emerged. I mean, at some point players emerge, and he has stepped forward.
He's out of the ball game, surprisingly, right now. Pat Dean in wide to the left at the top of your picture. Wide to the right is Jim Taylor at the bottom. Coleman on the option, and he's in for the touchdown. Matt Coleman coming up with his first rushing touchdown of the year, and a 7-yard run, and a big turnover. Pace taking advantage and marching for the touchdown.
Well, we talked about it. You know, one defensive play, one big defensive play from being right back in this ball game. The interception provided that play, and then the offense is able to capitalize.
Scott Plushow puts it through the uprights, and we've got a ball game, folks. So
that's right.
A lot of offense in this third quarter. 5:40 to go, and the Redmen lead the pace setters 21-14. Smart drive there by Matt Coleman. And we'll take a look at the touchdown run by Mr. Coleman.
Just the explosion. Once he sees the hole, he knows he's got it. Starts that little high knee action.
Harris bringing him down, but too late.
Give him the thing. Give him the tape. Just give it to him.
Steve Jaffe with a good block on that play. He blocked the man to the outside, allowing Coleman to cut back inside. There's Bob Baker. Has to be pleased with the effort of this pace team tonight.
Well, from the demeanor of the head coach there to the response of this football team after being down 21-7, you got to feel good about it.
When we're going at him, at least we can pick the guy off.
Bob Ricka discussing things with his coaches on the sideline as we get ready for the kickoff. Scott Plushow to kick it away.
They don't look like a team that came into this ball game 0-4. They look like a team that is gritty and confident and resilient.
That's what we said, that this could be a very interesting ball game despite the records, and it's proven that way. Russo and Broadway deep to receive the kick. Broadway's had a couple of good returns. Now Matt Cook is kicking off. Much better kickoff this time, and it's taken by Russo near the goal line. 15. and he'll cross the 20 and is taken down. So good coverage on the kick by Pace, not allowing St. John's to get good field position. Dave Cavallari, number 30, in on the tackle. And let's see what the Redmen respond with. It's been all Russo here in the second half, as this guy who came in with some outstanding numbers, he had gained 471 yards, has picked up over 100 today. That last drive, 8 plays, 53 yards, less than 2 minutes. Coleman, 7-yard run capping the drive. Sean Bannon calling the signals. Now looked like a blitz was coming by Workman, and Workman with a blitz comes up with a big defensive play. He found the gap, and Willie Workman was right in on the ball carrier, stopping Russo.
The Redmen offensive line has not picked up that blitz yet. Now we are into the third quarter now, and they still have not made any adjustment whatsoever. It's simply a question now of whether or not the coaching staff is confident allowing the cornerbacks to go man for man with those receivers, because I tell you, I keep feeding them until they stop it.
Iadivio leaves Lenahan in wide to the right as a flanker at the top of your picture. Keep it on the ground for Russo. Nice hole, and he runs out of room as he's shoved out of bounds, shy of the first down. Had to get to the 31-yard line. It'll be a third down play. Willie Wortman and Dylan Patterson run him out. Wortman, their leading tackler, with 44 tackles coming in. Reads exceptionally well. Keep an eye on number 99.
Now this time they lay back, they don't attack. So there's that nice little hole that they've had all day long to the outside. Take a look at number 8. Man, that's a gutsy little defensive back. He put his face in between the 2 and 1 on Russo's number.
See if Bannon goes to the air. He's 8 for 15 for 79 yards. Again, they go for a blitz. Russo taken down in the backfield. Dean Helm, the linebacker, breaking through. And Pace coming up with a big defensive stand, forcing St. John's now to punt deep in their own territory.
They haven't picked the blitz up yet.
Well, the linebackers have been coming up just about every play.
And I tell you, there's a reason. You know, you keep feeding a team the blitz.
Iadivio, the kick, standing back at around the 10-yard line. He's punted 5 times, averaging about 38 yards. Patrick Dean is deep at around his own 45-yard line. Dean will field it at the 47 and is tripped up. Jason Villar, number 12, on the tackle. 31-yard punt, no return. But look at the field position that the setters have.
Somebody caught a punt. You know, all you have to do is catch it. Somebody caught a punt, and now suddenly there's good field position.
3:35 to go. We were tied 7-7 at the end of the first half. In fact, all the scoring came late in the first half. Neither club had scored for about 25 minutes of the first half. Then Pace got on the board. Coleman a touchdown pass. Bannon answered with a touchdown pass of his own. Best field position so far for Pace in the entire evening as they start close to midfield. Cassidy in motion. Coleman looking. Coleman throwing and nearly intercepted. Should have been picked off by Colangelo. In and out of his hands. And the senior from Monsignor Farrell High School in Staten Island said, "Oh, give me another chance."
Oh, he'd like to run that one over again. He's got so much stuff on his hands, you'd think he was a prize fighter. And it's just, you know, he reaches up on this thing, tries to gather it in, and that's, oh my goodness gracious. Look at those gloves he's got on.
Coleman 10 for 17 for 130 yards and 1 touchdown. Now on the reverse. Uh-oh, it's gonna go. They've got a great opportunity here with that reverse play. Jason Villar finally stopping the man on the reverse, and that was Paul Castle, who had just come in the ball game. First time he had been in the game.
There was one man there to stop, 4 people blocking. That was horrible running. All he's got to do is step up on the inside and bounce it. Look at those 2 blockers he's got, and he goes inside. Oh my goodness gracious, they're going to show that to him 100 times. That was a horrible run. Well, he'd be still running.
Beasley, that's why he's been playing defense all game. That was the first play they had moved him to offense. Castle has been playing quarterback all day. Now, what were your offensive instincts? You're being so critical of this defensive back.
Well, but wait, let me put it like this. I would always run where there's help. That just seems to be common sense. But you run where the help is.
Beasley Reese, you always
your body will like this.
At the 42-yard line, 1st and 10. Pace on the move, trying to tie up the game. Some razzle-dazzle. Cassidy going in motion. And looking, Coleman deep up the middle, and oh, incomplete. He was looking for Dean, who collided with Villar, and Villar's down. He took a shot to the head there. Villar, you may recall earlier, sandwiched one of the wide receivers, and he's going to need some attention. Jason Villar is down. He is one of their best athletes. He calls the defensive signals. And they can ill afford to lose another defensive back with two of the starting cornerbacks out. Johnny Del Rey out for the season with knee surgery, and Nevin Mann also sidelined with a quad problem.
Eric Franks obviously saw him coming. Had the defender kept his eye on the football, I think it would have been an interception. Now, this should be the perfect angle. You see number 12, you see the quarterback. Drop back, a little half of a fake. Now, the throw should be an easy interception for the free safety, but Franks sees him coming, drops his shoulder, and runs over him. It's a tough game, this football.
It sure is, and Villar headed to the sideline. Carl Reuter will probably get us a late report on him.
I tell you, look at this. Wham! Franks turns into a defender there. He sees that the free safety has decided not to play the ball, but to hit him, and he turns the table.
2nd and 10 as they work out of the I formation. Coleman behind Jaffe. Spun around and taken down. Ray Lambright face mask. He reached in as Coleman was kind of elusive trying to catch. Lambright reached in, and unfortunately for Lambright, got his hand on that face mask, and that one hurts.
Face mask, defense.
Ray Stripe with a call, so the freshman making a freshman mistake there.
Well, this is going to be a big one because that was not an accident. They need to keep running, keep going. Okay, there you go. Oh, that was vicious, and that's why they marked off a good 15 on this one.
From the point of the foul. Almost.
Yeah, see, that's... If it's an accident, they'll only, penalize you 5 yards. But that time, he reached out and he said, I can't get him. Let me grab his face mask.
1st and 10 at the 24. Coleman has gained 35 yards rushing on 8 carries. Again, out of the I formation, McGinnity is the tailback. Coleman rolling left, looking, and throwing deep in the end zone. The receiver fell down, and a flag will be dropped against St. John's. It'll be pass interference on the sideline.
And suddenly, we've got a football game that could be tied up here. One defensive play, nice interception, offense taking advantage, and now they could take advantage again.
Apparently it may
Pass was uncatchable. There's no flag.
Good call.
Absolutely good call. Pat Dean was the intended receiver. Scott Biter hit him on the far side. And Sabrica breathes a sigh of relief. Bob Baker doesn't like the call.
Baker doesn't like it.
2nd and 10 at the... Baker's going to walk it off.
How can it be uncatchable if he's not down, sir? How can he even try for the ball? How do we know? How do we know?
Let me tell you something.
He can't go.
Baker's cooking right now. That blood pressure is pumping.
Cassidy lines up as a tight left end, slot right formation. As you see, going in motion is the dangerous Eric Frink. Throwing. Picked off by St. John. Steve Neves down the near sideline. Cuts back as a couple of blockers. Neves still on his feet at the 35 and pulled down at the 34-yard line as he was brought down by Pat Dean. So the turnover by Pace proves to be real costly. St. John's coming up with another interception. Their 13th of the year. A 46-yard return for strong safety Steve Neves. That's his 4th interception of the year. And Bob Baker, that could be the turning point of the ball.
Bob Baker's still on that other play, and understandably so. Feels like his player was knocked down. That's why the ball was uncatchable.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Now they back off that blitz look. Four down linemen. Now they look to come. Bannon looking to throw to the sideline, complete to Long. Dylan Patterson couldn't get him, but then he's run out of bounds as he was pushed out by Gary Garrison. Let's watch Steve Neves on this interception here. It's a dandy.
Neves is playing a zone principle, floats out into the flat right underneath the receiver. Quarterback never saw him coming. Take a look at the quarterback coming in here to make a tackle. At least he cuts him back into his help. And somebody please make a tackle.
And it was a wide receiver, Dean, who had the speed to catch up with Neves. 2nd and 3. Now movement. O'Grady, the tight end, number 39, was moving. Let's see if he was drawn offside. Bob Ricca will confirm. Haven't been many penalties here.
20.
It's against St. John's. O'Grady will be
Illegal
called.
procedure.
The illegal procedure. Penalties so far, St. John's 4 for 40, Pace 3 for 25. Long has caught 5 passes for 55 yards and 1 beautiful touchdown. 2nd and 8 from the 33. 2:13 to go. Third quarter, St. John's leading by 7. Bannon to throw. They pick up the blitz. Russo with a good block. Iadivio wide open as he beats the defender over there and finally taking down a flag on Paul Castle will be called.
Man, I tell you, we've had more face masks. I'm wondering if that was another face mask.
Paul Castle beaten by Iadivio. They like that fade pattern.
Face mask infraction, incidental, a 5-yard penalty.
Okay, they're saying that this one was just an accident, so it's only 5 yards. But still, we've had 3 face mask penalties in this game, and that's too many for a football game. 1 is too many. This is a perfect throw once again. Defender simply there's nothing he can do there. Just a great throw.
1st and goal for the Redmen. Iadivio's caught 4 passes for 48 yards and 1 touchdown. Out of the I formation, Bannon to throw for the end zone. Long touchdown. Gary Garrison was the man beaten on the play. 8-yard touchdown pass from Sean Bannon. And Jeff Long with his 2nd touchdown reception. And Bob Baker saying, let's go back to that play when you called that penalty. It changed the whole game around.
It certainly did. Now, what they had done on that play is they had switched defensive backs. They took number 8, Dylan Patterson, and put him on number 44 because that's the guy that's been killing him.
Iadivio had been burning him.
So they put their best defender on him at the top, and at the bottom is where the pass was thrown for the touchdown.
Well, Garrison's a safety, so you wonder where Castle was. He had been called for the penalty just a couple of plays before that.
Where's the line?
That's one of those that kind of backfires. So Dylan Patterson is at the left of your screen. They put the safety down on Long, and that's just automatic.
That's the long and short of it. Huh?
That's the long and short of it.
There you see him. Boy, Garrison,
he's just beaten badly. And that's touchdown number 6.
Jeff Long doing an outstanding job. So both Long and Iadivio showing that they are 5 receivers once they get a quarterback and get the ball to them.
That's right. Jeff Long with 6 touchdown passes this season.
Of course, Dennis McDermott had 23 touchdown passes last year. Incredible figure. Patrick Dean is deep to receive the kick. Along with Paul Castle, this will be Dean at the 21-yard line. To the 30. 35, breaks a couple of tackles, and a good return will carry close to the 40-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the pace setters. That last drive, as you see, 4 plays, 35 yards. And St. John's now leading it 28-14. So Sean Bannon has thrown 3 touchdown passes today. His by far best performance after really a shaky first quarter. Let's see what Pace can do, trailing by 2. Last year they lost 28-21. Handoff to Jaffe, and Jaffe pulls a couple of guys for about 4 yards before Jamie Borg and Carl Volpe brought him down.
there's a lot of potential there using Jaffe in that position, because every time, you know, he's fumbled twice, but every time he takes the handoff, he drags somebody for 3 or 4 yards.
Clock ticking. We're down to 1:13 left, third quarter. Not a touchdown scored here in the third quarter. It was 7-7 at halftime. Now St. John's leads it 28-14. Quick looking pass to Cassidy, which was quite effective in the first half. He'll pick up the first down to the 45-yard line. Scott Biter on the collision. And that was indeed a collision over there.
Oh, that's one of those execution plays. It takes perfect timing, perfect execution, and done for the third time very effectively.
Tom Cassidy having a good day. The senior from Peekskill has caught several passes so far. On the draw play, McKinney rather, nowhere to go as he popped for a couple of yards. Pawlowski, Biter, and Cunningham on the stop. And that may be the last play. We may have time for one more play in this third quarter. 25 seconds showing on the clock as Jerry Allmacher comes out over the ball. Again, out of the I formation, McGinnity is the tailback. Coleman, quick looking pass, and they will rule it complete. Looking for number 84, Tony Horling, the 5'11 sophomore from Salisbury Mills, New York, who had caught only one pass prior to today, but he made the diving catch. And I'll tell you, give Pace credit. Every time that St. John's has seemed to score, they don't fold their tents. They seem to come right back. A lot of heart by this Pace team.
They have responded well, and you know, you take away a play here, play there, and we could be all tied up. And I tell you, that could be the case before this night is through, because this team is not giving up at all.
You see them marking the ball there. The chains, they'll bring it in. Ray Stripe and his crew. 6 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Barry Landers along with Beasley Reese and Carl Reuter. Update on that Trenton State game. Trenton State ranked in our Sports Channel Metro Collegiate top 10, ranked number 8, and they're killing FDU Madison 28-3 at halftime. Well, it's just short, as you saw. Well, Bob Ricker was a little concerned about this, although some people said, hey, as we said, look at the records. He knows that Pace has always given his team trouble. 7-5, St. John's leads in the series. They will not get another playoff as the third quarter has come to an end. So the Redmen looking to go 5-0 and take a commanding lead in Liberty Conference play, have a 28-14 lead after 3. We'll be right back.
Hey, Rego Park, you asked for a home entertainment center you could trust, and we heard you.
And more.
Reuter.
Barry, you're absolutely right when you said that the great St. John's quarterback of the past, the record-setting Scott Cesny, and Scott out here on the sidelines. And I mentioned earlier in the game, you and Dutch Adderkirk were coaching.
We get a little frustrated too, but there are some things that the guys don't see right now, which I picked up on, and as well as Dutch did. And when they come off the field, we let them know. You know,
what's it like to come out here now? Your playing days are over, but after graduation last year, you took your final, and then all of a sudden you went over to England, and in your first game, you threw 3 touchdowns over there.
It was interesting. I took my last final, and I hopped on a plane that evening, and I had one practice when I was in England, and I had a game against a team from London, and I threw 3 touchdown passes with a limited knowledge of the offense, that's for sure.
But you miss playing here at St. John's, don't you?
Oh, definitely. If I could do it all over again, I sure would.
You know, Barry, I've got to mention something to you, being that the Islanders and Devils both air right here on Sports Channel, and you're the radio voice of the Islanders. This guy right here says he goes to a lot of Islander games. He said if he didn't throw a football, he would have liked to have gone out and skated a a little bit.
All right, the way the Islanders are playing right now, Carl, we might sign up Scott Cesny.
Maybe sometime I'll see you down there. Usually in section 212.
All right.
There you go.
Say hello.
All right, Barry, he said he's going to come by and see you. If it wasn't for football, he might have been playing hockey. Let's go back up to you.
Fine young man, Pace, and a smart young man.
Oh, yeah.
Pace picking up the first down. at the 35-yard line. They trail by 2 touchdowns, very much in this game. Report on Eric Frink is that he has a neck injury and may not return. Single setback now. Coleman rolling near side, looking downfield for Dean. He'll tuck it under and is spun out of bounds by the Redmen's Ray Lambright. That will stop the clock. 33 seconds into the 4th quarter. So far, there's a flag on the play. Bannon is 11 for 18 for 3 touchdowns for St. John's and 1 interception. Coleman 12 for 22, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Well, that'll kill you. A clipping call on that play. Wow. That hurts the pace drive. Now Dean will head to the sidelines. You see him running off the field. Rich Colangelo talking it over with Ray Stripe. They're going to take the walk-off, it appears. Ray Stripe in the striped shirt over there. Don't forget, by the way, folks, next week you'll see these exciting Redmen in action against the Merchant Marine Academy. Dennis Barrett's got Chris Clark in at quarterback. Wes Stearns doing a great job at running back.
Moving backwards.
You see the clipping call, and that's our next game, 1:30, or actually 7:30 on Friday night. Next Friday night. I hope the weather's as nice as it is tonight. What a beautiful night. Ball at the 48-yard line, between the 49 and 48. Pace facing a 1st and 23. St. John's with 5 defensive backs in the game. McGinnity in motion. Coleman in trouble, chased by Pawlowski and O'Grady pulls him down. 9th sack of the year for Vince O'Grady. O'Grady was ECAC Defensive Player of the Week when he had 10 tackles and 2 sacks against Stony Brook a couple of weeks ago. Coming up with the play there.
O'Grady on the path, on the mark to set a nice little record. Only 5 games in, and to have this many sacks, tell you, Coleman tries out running around the corner, but you can't get around that guy.
McGinnity on the pitch into the secondary, trying to get a block. He's down the sideline and will not get the first down. But the best running play of the day so far, Jay McGinnity going out of bounds after picking up some 24 yards, but shy of the first down. An interesting call here for Pace with 4th down and about 4 yards to go. And I believe they're going to go for it here. Trailing by 2 touchdowns, early 4th quarter. Dean leaves the game as they come in with wide receivers. Jimmy Taylor wide to the right. Now Frink is back in the game. They go with a triple set. 3rd down and check that 4th down now. And Coleman on the keeper will not get it is 3rd down. I beg your pardon, as we had a 3rd down play. And they'll get another try at it here. Now it is 4th down. 4th down and about 4. As Colangelo came up with the hit. And Pawlowski. So Dean out of the ball game. Frink back in. Let's see if they go to their bread and butter guy, Frink, or Cassidy, number 80, who lines up both to the right side. Cassidy, the tight end. Frink at the top of your picture. Coleman, play action, looking deep for the sideline for Dean. A great catch. Touchdown. Oh, what a catch by Pat Dean. Wow. Scott Waite, the young freshman, beaten on the play. We talked about the injuries to the secondary. They had to go with Waite, who was a 3rd-line player. But just a great catch by Pat Dean. You couldn't fault the defensive back that much on the play.
No, there are times when you have to say great throw, great catch, and I think that's one of them. Pat Dean came into this game with 10 receptions. He's obviously been used quite a bit by Pace. As we see the extra point made, and we are now looking at a 7-point ball game. Just a super catch over the shoulder. Another great throw by a quarterback. We've seen that and said that over and over again throughout this contest. Short roll to the right, move in the pocket, kind of a heave-ho, and look at the defender in perfect position. But the pass, I tell you, that's a great throw and a great catch.
Indeed it was. And so we'll now have, it was Milt Gasparis who was beaten on the play, along with Scott Waite.
That was a super pattern. It was a slight post corner, and just a super throw.
You saw Scott Waite getting over there late trying to help out on the play, but it was Gasparis who was beaten on the play.
Getting all kinds of different things. You run the plays in and out.
So here we go now. This should be some kind of finish. 12:53 to go. Fourth quarter. Bob Baker's club grit and determination coming back. Matt Cook will kick off here.
Move up, Billy.
This was the score of last year's game, 28-21, won by St. John's.
Come here. Short side of the field. The guy ready to get smacked. He's going to come right back. He's going to come right back.
So the St. John's defense, Beasley, which had only given up 32 points in 4 previous games, has given up 21 today. Short kick taken upfield, and Bozier will bring it across the 30 to around the 34-35 yard line, where the Redmen will take it 1st and 10. Check it, it was...
on 20s.
And it'll be 1st and 10.
Way to go, Scotty. Ice or 20s. All right, Scott.
Redmen in good field position at the 35-yard line. Let's see if Mr. Russo will try to run the football here. Had an explosive start of the second half. Billy Osterman now in at fullback. And on the keeper, Bannon pushing ahead to the 37-38 yard line, setting up a 2nd down play. There's Eric Frink on the sideline. He came in with that neck injury despite the injury, and he was in on a couple of plays, even as a decoy. They don't know he's got a neck injury unless they're listening to us.
That's right. That's right.
9 plays, 60 yards, under 4 minutes. Dean, the 29-yard touchdown pass from Coleman. Dean has had a fine ball game, along with Frink. 2nd and 6. Chuck Broadway now in the ball game at the running back spot. First time we've seen him. And they go to Russo, and he has the 1st down. Russo up the middle, crosses the 45 to the 47-yard line. So Russo, who has had outstanding games the last 2 games, now has gained 177 yards in 33 carries.
He's a tough little runner. It's been a pleasure to watch. He really explodes up in there, getting some good support from his offensive line.
St. John's defense getting discussion going there. Russo tripped up after he picked up a couple. Will Wertman on the stop. Clock ticking, 11:35 to go, 4th quarter. St. John's holding on to a 7-point lead. There's Ray Stripe talking to Charles Dora, sophomore linebacker. 1-yard pickup on that last play. Now Long lines up wide to the left at the top of your screen. Idevio at the bottom. Close set in the backfield. Behind the block of Robinson, Russo shy of the 1st down, pushing ahead to around the 45-yard line. That'll set up a 3rd down play.
It's another blitz. Just that time the play was designed to go through a hole where the blitz was not really a threat, and they were able to get some positive yardage out of it.
Wertman and Dora combining on that last stop. This is a big defensive play now. 3rd and 3 for the pace setters defensively. Try to stop the St. John's drive and get the ball back. Now they showed a blitz. Bannon throwing complete for Long for a 1st down. Driven out of bounds by a couple of defenders over there. Dylan Patterson and number 46, John Hankey.
I believe they threw a flag over there.
Late hit. A little over-aggressive on the tackle. We'll wait and see. Want to thank our spotters. Done a great job today. From Pace, Jose Pinheiro. And from St. John's, Mike Buddy. Thanks also to Sports Information Director John Balcom at Pace and Frank Raccanello here at St. John's for their help.
We got an incidental face mask against the defense, a 5-yard penalty.
I'm calling a lot of that this year. I think they're trying to protect the facial area. Dylan Patterson will get called for this one.
Dylan has been overly aggressive when it comes to Jeff Long, and he's got to learn to control his temper.
Here's Russo trying to turn outside and tripped up as he picked up a couple of yards. Castle coming up to trip him up. Paul Castle. Good tackle by Castle. Russo coming at you around the right side. He was able to bring him down, but not before Russo picked up about 5 or 6 yards on the play, closing in on 200 yards for the evening. 189, Hal Sass, statistician, tells me. More importantly for St. John's, the clock continues to tick. Very important drive. They can eat up some more minutes here. Still a lot of time left, about 9:50. Robinson and Russo in the I formation. Lenahan going in motion. There was movement on the line there. Bannon falling forward. Let's see what the call will be. Ray Stripe looking back at St. John's there. No flag, apparently. Dawn will set up another big third down play here. No, check it. It's see what the Redmen do here. Bannon barking out signals. Lenahan in motion, and again there was movement. No flags. Back to throw. Bannon has time. Looking deep. He's got Long wide open. And just overthrew him. Patterson was beaten by about 3 or 4 yards on the play, but Long just overthrown by Bannon that time. And it'll set up another big situation here for the Redmen.
Jeff Long this time is in his own little time zone. Dylan has the deep third. Obviously, they sent a player quickly out in his face that drew him up out of his deep responsibility, and I tell you, the receiver was wide open.
Now on 4th down, Russo going for the first down and has it. So they stayed on the ground, and Russo, ripping off the left side of the line, picks up the first down. Doran Helms on the stop. But Russo showing that quick burst, all-county performer out of Plain Edge High School on Long Island.
Quiet as it's kept, that might have been one of the biggest plays of this game. It's 28-21, 8 minutes left. Russo able to burst in there as they call timeout and get what could prove to be a critical first down, going for it on 4th.
Absolutely. If you tuned in late, this was a scoreless game for most of the first half, and then Pace took the 7-0 lead as Matt Coleman threw a touchdown pass as he teamed up with his fine wide receiver Eric Frink. St. John's came back as Iadivio caught a 3-yard touchdown pass from Bannon, and we were tied 7-7 at the end of the first half.
Right. We don't want to see it. We want to go in the first half. Call the play right here. Quiet, you're right. Come here. Listen, guys. Listen. Listen.
Right. Ice pass, right? 89.
Okay, look. We want to go on the first sound. We want to get down. We want to make sure that we get to our block. You know which way you're coming, right? Coming. Good. You're coming right. Linebacker, you're going to be blitzing. We go on sound, we'll buy a little time. Ice right?
Ice right. Ice right? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm over here. What do you got? Hey, Robin. I got you. Ice pass,
Well, tomorrow, the #1 football team in the country hits the gridiron on Sports Channel as the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame battle Stanford University. That's Notre Dame versus Stanford tomorrow afternoon at 1. Live and exclusive on Sports Channel America. Sports Channel America is not available in all areas. Certainly the way Hofstra's been playing, they're right up in the rankings in the nation in Division 3, ranked close to #1.
This will be a play fake to Russo and a pass.
He's got plenty of time looking for Lenahan and knocked down at the last moment by Paul Castle.
Great defensive play.
Castle, the transfer from Western Connecticut, saving a touchdown. He's been a pleasant surprise. He's only a sophomore from Brewster.
Here's the fake to Russo, drawing a little attention. Nice pass. Should be lifted just a little bit more. I mean, the receiver was wide open. Maybe thrown just a second sooner.
Is that a royal play by Castle? On 2nd and 10. Bannon has long going in motion. Nobody picks him up. They'll keep it on the ground for Russo. Turns to the right side, has no blocking as the play was strung out nicely. Castle over there on the play, along with a couple of other players, John Hankey and Gary Garrison, number 49. So we'll have a big 3rd down play coming up once again for St. John's. 8 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Redmen lead it 28-21 as they try to improve their record to 5-0. Bannon with plenty of time. Poor choice there. 2 men were around the receiver. He had long, deep open in the end zone under the goalpost there, and he went short and drilled it in the ground. So it'll set up a 4th down play. Vince O'Grady was the intended receiver, his tight end. Keep an eye on number 98 here, Mike Noto. Got a piece of it, perhaps.
There it is. Great camera work. I tell you, that might have been an interception had he not have hit it, because people were all around that receiver.
4th and 9 for St. John's. Bannon, little razzle-dazzle here. Back flea flicker. Wide open is Russo along the sideline. He's got to pick up some yardage. Will not get the 1st down. His knee goes down shy of the 1st down. So the old flea flicker doesn't work. Russo was covered in the flat there, trying to get away from 2 or 3 defenders, but just could not.
The play was actually designed to go downfield to a wide open, hoping for a wide open receiver in the end zone. When that was not the case, he went for the outlet, which was Russo standing over by the sideline, and Russo was unable to pick up the 1st down because of Charles Dora.
He's played a solid game. Up the middle, complete for the 1st down. Jim Taylor with the reception. Up and around the 32-yard line, Carl Volpe on the coverage. No huddle offense right here as they try to catch St. John's here. A lot of time left, 7.5 minutes.
Like we said, this pace offense will do anything. Grab bag offense. You're looking at a shotgun now.
Allman throwing to the sideline, complete to the big tight end Cassidy, out of bounds as he collides with Steve Neves. Clock will stop with 7:24 to go. So Tom Cassidy coming up with the reception. He's had a very solid game. He's, as you see, got a lot of good assets. He's got the best hands on the team and a big target. 5 catches for Cassidy so far. Came in with 10 on the season.
So now the last 2 plays, pace has been lined up in a full-blown run-and-shoot offense.
Yep.
And that's what they come up with again. Quarterback in the shotgun, Cassidy in the slot, 4 receivers.
He's in trouble now, chased by O'Grady. Throws on the run, complete to Cassidy for the 1st down. Driven out at the 46-yard line by Jamie Bourne. Well-thrown ball, and anytime you've got that big guy as a target, you've got a chance to complete it. 6 catches now for Cassidy, and Coleman putting up some impressive stats. 16 for 26 for 201 yards. Last year he passed for over 200 yards in the 28-21 loss to St. John's. Out of the shotgun. O'Grady coming, and he throws with his left hand, maybe grounded.
Intentional.
Well, he saw O'Grady coming like a freight train. He said, let me transfer this ball to my left hand and throw it away.
Well, it's kind of hard to argue with that call when you throw it with your left hand. You know, it's hard to convince the guy that you're ambidextrous to that degree.
Intentional grounding. Intentional grounding. A loss of down.
So that one will hurt. Loss of down plus the yardage marked off. It's about one of the worst penalties you can
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Now play will come in from the sideline. Jim Taylor heads off. Now Frink will line up wide to the left along with number 85, who's just checked into the ball game. And we'll pick that up for you. That is a wide receiver, Andrew Rogovic.
That was hard.
That was a busted play indeed.
Jaffe ran over the quarterback. I tell you, that was just, there's another wasted down. Take a look at this. Wham!
As big as he is, you can't recover from that.
That's a little tough. Jaffe running into you at 235. Coleman's only 170, so he's giving up a little weight to his buddy. 3rd and 25, Coleman, and it's blocked at the line of scrimmage. I believe Frank Pawlowski got a hand on it, number 63. And it will stop the clock with 6:38 to go, so that penalty really stymieing this drive. But they've still got plenty of time to get their hands on the football once again if they can stop St. John's.
No question about it. 6 minutes and 38 seconds left. Nobody has controlled the ball to that degree in this game. I believe St. John's reeled off one for about 4 minutes. They held the ball and got a score.
Castle has punted 6 times for 32 yards average. High snap. They get a little rush on. Good. High kick sails downfield. Frisetta will take it at the 33. Frisetta will go nowhere to the 36. Good punt coverage. And St. John's back at their own 36-yard line. A 39-yard punt, 4-yard return. Tom Cassidy on the tackle along with Gary Garrison.
Well, when you start stacking big plays up in a game like this one, that punt could be among them. If, in fact, the Pace defense can respond and hold St. John's down in this position.
Well, Anthony Russo gained 216 yards last week, setting a school rushing record. He is 195 yards so far this evening. He's in the ball game right now with Robinson. In the pro set. They'll go to Robinson. And Robinson having problems there in the backfield. Good surge, Cliff Dirks. Number 41 on the stop. He's played a fine game, the captain from Madison, New Jersey, along with Bob Gibson.
That was a fine play there, and it sets up a scenario in which the defensive coaches have the freedom to call almost anything. 2nd and 10, the advantage has gone to the defense.
Ball at the 37-yard line, 5:55 to go, 4th quarter. St. John's leading by 7 with the ball. Long count here by Bannon. Bannon looking sideline again. They back off Long, give him a lot of room, and he's able to get the first down. They're playing soft coverage on Jeff Long out there.
Well, Jeff Long has earned a certain amount of respect out here today. And as good as Dylan is and as aggressive as Dylan is, he still has to respect the fact that Jeff Long is a fine athlete and has proven it over and over again today, catching touchdowns number 5 and 6.
Please, I'm going to ask you the next opportunity we have about a 5'7" quarterback going up against a 6'2" jumping wide receiver. And Long has the long arms plus the jumping ability. Russo slicing off the left side of the line and pulled down after picking up about 4 crossing midfield. Charles Dora bringing him down. Dora, who did not start last week, he was sort of in the doghouse, had been one of their key linebackers, has played a very tenacious game tonight. As have most of the Pace defenders. There have been some big plays they've been beaten on, but they played a tough game at the line of scrimmage.
They have played tough, and with 5 minutes and counting, they need to really get real tough about now in order to get their offense back on the field.
2nd and 6. Robinson in the backfield right now, along with Russo. They'll go to Russo behind Robinson. Cuts off the hole. Look at him drive for the first down on great second effort. Charlie Dora and Gary Garrison bringing him down, but you saw the power of Anthony Russo. We've seen the speed, but this guy's got some powerful legs at 185.
And see, he realizes, he has the football savvy to realize that this is money time in this game. This is showtime. Look how he drags the defenders. He took Dora for a ride, forcing his way in for the first down, and that's football savvy. That's knowing that this is showtime.
206 yards gained by Russo, 10 yards shy of his own record he set last week, an all-time Redmen rushing record. They try, nope. Here's Bannon. Throwing on the run for Iadivio. Castle defending on the play. Iadivio diving, couldn't come up with it. Clock stops with 4:27 to go. St. John's holding on to that 7-point lead. And as you see, Paul Castle has been busy. Punts. He's been catching punts, running them back, and playing defensive back. Even tried that one offensive play.
Yeah, the one where I really got on him.
You did.
And I'll apologize to him now because he's probably got the VCR running at home.
Bannon 15 out of 25 for 145 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
But if I didn't say it, the coaches would say it, and they'll probably hear it from the coaches.
Russo for about 6 just keeps driving. Dylan Patterson on the tackle along with Charlie Dora and Cliff Dirks.
All right, this is game time. Yeah, you can say that several times in the course of a football game, but we are just about to go under the 4-minute mark. It's 3rd and 4.
Gut check.
Somebody's got to make a play. This is what it's all about right here.
You bet. Looks like a blitz coming. Bannon has it picked up, rolling right, has the first down if he runs it. He's got it and more. Out of bounds, Sean Bannon, not known for his running ability. Sean Sharkey, the other quarterback, was known as the running quarterback. He picks up 18 yards, and Bob Rinker's got to breathe a sigh of relief.
Well, that was a huge play. That was a big play. 3 minutes and 41 seconds left on the clock. 3rd and 4. The situation nearing exigent for the Pace defense. Everybody in coverage turning their back on the quarterback. He picks up the first down and doesn't even have to take a hit.
Well, the only thing that
doesn't get it, buddy.
Redmen will call timeout. Don't forget, next week you'll see St. John's in action against the Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy, followed by CW Post. Kings Point off tomorrow. Bet they're scouting this one.
Where are we in that game? Are we here?
We are here next week on Friday night, and then we'll be at the homecoming for CW Post as they go up against St. John's University.
We want to run the ball 4 plays. 341. Right? So we're going to keep it on the ground. Let's get 4 positive plays to get a first down. No penalties. Well, no penalties. You don't want to stop the clock. You want to stay in bounds.
Sean, use that clock all the way.
It's knocked them into the end zone, right?
All right, what we want to do, we want to run the ball with first down. So on the right hash, we want to run the left. We want to run a smash, a blast, or an ice.
What do we want to call it right here? What do you want?
Ice.
Ice, Bobby. Ice.
Ice, you want? 25. Ice, 25. Roll right, ice left.
Come on, guys.
Okay, you know what you're doing? Bobby.
Watch the clock.
Bobby. Hey, it's spot on.
A relatively simple plan. No trickery. They will run the ball 4 plays. I heard them say no penalties. I heard them say stay in bounds. And I heard one of the offensive linemen say, let's knock them into the end zone.
We shall see. 1st and 10 for the Redmen. Russo sliding off a couple of tackles. Pulls forward inside the 15 to around the 13-yard line. Dora brought him down, and that clock, which is the ally of St. John's and the enemy of Pace, continues to tick away. St. John's will use as much of the clock as they possibly can here, as Russo is close to breaking his own rushing record. He now has 217 yards, and unofficially, he has broken that record by a yard. And Russo trying to use his speed, but they bring him down on the far side. Gary Garrison showing some speed of his own. They'll set up another 3rd down play, and Pace is yet to come up with this big play on the 3rd down, although St. John's certainly in field goal range, but they have a very shaky place kicker. And to be honest, Castilli has not done the job. Missed a 19-yarder last week.
Right.
They don't have the great foot of Anthony Tricario this year.
This could be the final opportunity. 2 minutes and 43 seconds and counting.
Uh-oh. Big burst there by Russo as he falls forward. Great second effort, but let's see where they mark his forward progress. He got hit pretty hard there.
Somebody met him with the old law of nature.
Doran Dirks.
Doran Dirks applying equal and opposite force to every action. There's an equal and opposite reaction.
Well, here we go. It is 4th and a yard, 2:10 and counting. Biggest play of the game right here.
This is it.
They'll go to Robinson. He has the first down, and the fullback slammed down as he got to around the 6-yard line by Garrison. So that could be the final nail in the coffin. Remember, they used some timeouts earlier. Robinson has gained 34 yards and 9 carries. Russo 217 yards in 44 carries, and he has broken his own record for most carries and most yardage gained on the ground. Pace with 2 timeouts left, and St. John's only 1.
They're stretching the play. Wider, Anthony! Wider!
Goal to go at the 6-yard line.
Sean, a 9!
Here's the pitch to Russo, nearly fumbled. Nowhere to go. It tries to stay in bounds, and he gets in bounds, stays in bounds wisely. The defender, Dylan Patterson, was trying to push him out, and the clock continues to tick. There's a holding penalty. You heard Ray Stripe with the call there. Now timeout with the clock stopped. A little confusion there.
Hurry up, you're right tackle.
Going downhill still, man.
They'll have to reset the clock as you hear them discussing it.
We got a hold against the Reds. It's enforced from the foul spot.
First and goal for the 6. Now
Bring it back in. Neil, put the time back on the clock.
Second and goal.
There's 10 seconds. Got to go back on the clock.
That was a penalty.
Well, that will mean a minute 23 remaining.
Holding!
Well, we hope that you've enjoyed the action here at St. John's.
See it, Flash? The face mask? I didn't see it, right?
6 now.
And by the way, for you Fordham football fans, we've gotten word that the beautiful field up at Fordham will be ready for October 20th. And they will have their home opener when they take on Colgate's Red Raiders. And for more information, Fordham football fans call 212-579-2446. We'll get another look at Fordham later against Holy Cross, Beasley.
That should be fun. It was fun watching.
They have 2.
They're coming off a big win last week over Brown, their first win of the year. They'll play Harvard next week. I know Larry Glick very happy. There's part of the crowd here on this beautiful evening. Crowd of over 1,500 in attendance. Now they've moved the ball back to the 24-yard line where it is first and goal to go. St. John's holding on to a 7-point lead with a minute 20 to go.
Well, this is that point in the game where defenders start trying to put their helmets on the ball.
You see Ray Stripe talking to Bob Baker over there. So Ray Stripe has had his problems with some of the coaches this year. If you recall our opening game, Dennis Barrett and referee Stripe engaged in a rather heated discussion at the end of the fourth quarter.
Most of the coaches want him to do things their way.
Bob Baker doesn't appear placated.
If the clock starts on the ready, stay in the huddle for a while. All right, the clock starts.
This will be the 13th play of this drive. Over 5 minutes it's taken.
Fantastic drive.
Started at their own 37. This is something that St. John's rarely did in the past. You'll like to see it when you've got the lead. Blitz coming. Russo looking for the hole, sliding off the left side, picks up maybe 2 yards. And Pace will use one of its timeouts here.
Dictate the blitz to us again, right?
They have 1 timeout left. Dora once again on the stop.
But if they can hold, there's time for 1 or 2 great heroic moments.
Well, I think they have only 1 timeout left, and this is only second down, so they should be in good shape here. Bob Baker hoping for a miracle. But as we've said, this was not a team that played like an 0-4 team. A team that had lost 9 out of 10 last year.
We don't have such a play as left, right, waggle right.
They have 1 left. They have 1 left.
Well, apparently they just called the play that's not in the playbook. I heard one of the coaches say, "Coach, we don't have a play called left, right, waggle right."
Put your face through the ball. Raider? No.
Well, we're here at St. John's. Barry Landers along with Beasley Reese. And Beasley, we certainly would like to pass on our condolences to the Hofstra University football family. They lost one of their fine graduate assistant coaches last week who was killed on the eve of last Saturday's football game. Joe Healy, young man who played football in Connecticut, and was quite a young man. You did a little research on him.
Well, I'm a sportscaster in the Connecticut market, so.
All right, here is Bannon rolling right, looking and throwing complete. They want to keep in bounds. They make the catch. O'Grady making the catch. Garrison and Dirks on the coverage. And the clock continues to tick. A minute to go. So they'll have to get one more play off here. Pace not taking their final timeout here. St. John's has 20 seconds left on the clock. That is not the clock we're referring to. That is the clock to get the play off. Yeah, they could just run it out here unless they call a timeout. Russo, and straight ahead inside the 15 to around the 13, and Pace will use the final timeout. Clock will stop, as you see, with 28 seconds left. Fourth down. Pace out of timeouts, I believe, here. So it's rather academic. Unless St. John's should just ground the ball here or just go down with it.
Well, it's been a fun game, a well-played game. Only a couple of blunders.
Right under the deuce them. We go ace, or deuce doesn't matter. Deuce, yeah. Put them in a deuce, get up under the center, go on the first down.
Coach, they're on the wide side of the field?
Huh?
You want them on the wide side?
No, I want them on the short side of the field. Short side.
Who's out there?
I want you to go out. Yeah, no, right on the line. Right on the line. You're out.
So the clock isn't going to start.
What? Last pass.
Yeah, right.
What is this?
Brooklyn, Costello. He's in. Hey, DVO out.
Almost one too many men on the field. You heard Bob Ricker say, "I DVO out." Pat Costello is in as a tight end. They'll go double tight end, Long the only flanker. 4th and 13 with 28 seconds left. Pace wants to steal the ball.
That's right.
And flags fly. That will stop the clock.
All right. Let's try to break one, see what happens. Tackle trap on us.
Dead ball, false start.
What number? Brooklyn out, tackle trap on. Come up on the down.
So it moves St. John's back. 5 more yards, but sort of academic right now.
81. Costello 81. Oh, man.
Costello leaves the ball game, number 81.
Outside, keep him in.
And here we go on 4th and 18.
28 seconds, please, Bob.
Jeff Long at the top of your picture, wide to the left. He's had an outstanding game. Long, 8 catches for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Let's go, Red, put it in.
Iadivio off to the right at the bottom of your picture.
Let's go,
4th and 18 for the Redmen. They'll stay on the ground. Russo breaks one tackle, breaks another tackle. Look at him drive, and he won't get the touchdown, but the clock will stop now with 21 seconds to go. Gary Garrison brought him down.
Good job, offense. Good job.
One heroic moment.
One play, perhaps, although there was 21 seconds on incompletion, they could get a couple. But they've got to go 91 yards. The ball at the 9-yard line. Matt Coleman's going to be Superman here. 91 yards. The ball at the 9-yard line. Matt Coleman's going to be Superman here. Back to throw, and he throws incomplete, looking for Dean.
He might get 3 out of this.
Right, hook and ladder left.
He might get 3 plays out of this.
Clock stops. You heard it. Hook and ladder left. Get the fire department out.
This is interesting. Okay, now basically, what they could be saying is they're going to throw a curl pattern and try to flip it to somebody running past. The old
hook and ladder.
Hook and ladder.
All right, Coleman to throw. In trouble.
Couldn't get it off.
Now we'll throw it complete now to Dean. Can he lateral it off? He was looking. He had a man with him over there, but couldn't get it off to him. 7 seconds left. They reset the chain, so the clock is stopped. They have no timeouts left. Now the clock set back in motion. And incomplete. They'll have another play. The clock stops with 2 seconds, and this will undoubtedly be our next play, the final play of this football game. Unless, of course, they score a touchdown, and then they get a shot at the extra point. That would be something.
Get back here! Belong in the huddle. Get back here now! Deeper! 2 seconds! More!
All right, here we go. Hail Mary play here. As they complete, and dropping the ball was Taylor. That is it. The completion counts. And just as last year, St. John's holds on to a 28-21 lead over Pace. So the last 3 years, a touchdown has divided these two teams. St. John's now 8-5 in this rivalry that dates back some 20 years. And the Redmen go 5-0, but tested here tonight by a pretty tough Pace team.
No question. The Pace team should be proud of their effort. They know that they had an opportunity to win here tonight, and maybe that will help them in the future.
Well, Matt Coleman did a pretty good job. That interception by Neves turned out to be critical. St. John's able to take advantage of that turnover and go in for what proved to be the game-winning touchdown. Now, of course, earlier, Bob Baker arguing with the officials about that non-call when his receiver went down, and they called no pass interference against St. John's. And right after that, of course, the game turned around. St. John's picked off a pass and went downfield and scored. So we hope that you've enjoyed our coverage. Bob Ricca will be joining our Carl Reuter for some closing comments in just a moment, as the Redmen now 28-21 winners over the Pace Setters. Bob Ricker's team now 3-0 in Liberty Conference play. They'll play Kings Point and CW Post. You'll see them both in the next couple of weeks. Down to the field, here's Carl Reuter.
All right, Barry, thanks very much. And, Coach, I'm going to give myself a little slack. I know you just step up there. There you go. Now 5-0, and you came out with that touchdown late in the first half, and then you struck early twice in the second half.
Well, we felt good about it, and Carl, when they elected to run the clock out at the end of the first half, that gave us even a little more momentum, a little more impetus. We felt that they were content, they were satisfied to come in with a tie, and we felt that wasn't good enough for us, so we were going to take the game to them. 3 straight years, you've beaten them by a touchdown now, but I think a big play, under 4 minutes to go, it's a 3rd and 4, and Bannon able to scramble for the first down and keep the drive alive, even though you don't score, but the clock continues. The clock, and that was key. We had some opportunities down here. We would like to have scored 1 or 2 more times, but we did control the clock. The last drive was 16 plays, so we took a lot of time off. You've been going back and forth, Bannon and Sharkey, throughout the year. Is Bannon your #1 quarterback? Well, right now, tonight he was, and we'll just take it day by day in practice, and we'll see. All right, man. Did a real good job tonight, Sean. A lot of audibles. Kids played hard. Defense played hard. Just a couple of big plays hurt us, but I really thought we controlled the ball game, but it was a little closer than we'd like. Over the years gone by, when you have run the football, you had Manny DeSantis, but Anthony Russo has done some kind of ball carrying for you the last 2 weeks. What more can you ask for the kid? Just a tough kid. He gives that second and third effort each time. Are you satisfied overall with the game that you played tonight? As a coach, you're never satisfied. We're satisfied that it was a win, certainly. But no, we'll go back and look at the films, and there are a lot of mistakes. And to get better, we have to cut down and improve. I asked you at the end of the first half, I said Pace is not playing like an 0-4 team. Now I think they're a better team than their record at 0-5 shows. Sure, Pace is not a bad football team. Liberty Conference football, we say it every year, week in and week out, you have to come to play, and anyone can beat anyone else. Why do certain teams have certain troubles with clubs? Over the years, you've played Pace very, very tough. They played you very, very tough. You haven't really been able to shake them. Why is that? I don't know. I think we just match up well. Same type of kids. We recruit the same type of kids. They always get up for us playing the St. John's name and things of that nature, so they always give us all we can handle. 5 weeks ago, would you have said you'd be 5-0 at this point? No, we didn't think we'd be 5-0, but the kids did, and that's what's important. Not what the coaches think, what the kids think, and what they believe. What kind of a group of kids is this, Bob? Well, it's a young group of kids that just believes that each week they can go out and they can win. and they've done it so far.
Well, it's a big Liberty Conference win in this one, 28-21 over Pace. We'll see you next Friday night, maybe even a bigger game against Kings Point.
It will be. That's right. We'll see you right here.
All right, Bob, congratulations on the win.
Thank you, Carl.
All right, Coach Bob Ricka very happy. He goes off the field with a 28-21 win. So St. John's now goes to 5-0, a perfect season so far. When we come back, we'll have more from Redmen Field right after this timeout.
At Hofstra, the range of student activities and resources for learning is enormous. Over 100 student clubs, 5 student newspapers, outstanding residential facilities, 75 acres of recreational fields, over 60,000 square feet of indoor recreational space, an indoor 8-lane full-size Olympic swimming pool, Hofstra Vision, 18 cable channels and 4 channels programmed by the university. Hofstra University, we teach success.
Do you need a car? Listen, each year government agencies auction, sell, and liquidate thousands of cars and trucks, and the bidding starts as low as $30. Government vehicles, luxury cars taken from drug dealers, criminals, and thousands more seized, repossessed, sold through bankruptcy proceedings. Now find out how you can grab the car you want at government liquidation and bankruptcy prices. Bid as low as $30 for Porsches, Mercedes, Ferraris, Corvettes, family cars, and trucks. Find out how to get the car you want now. Call 1-900-HOT-AUTO. That's 1-900-468-2886. Just $2 a minute.
This quality Craftmatic Model 2 adjustable bed costs 50% less than this quality nationally advertised brand name flatbed. 50% less. That's right. For 50% less, you can enjoy the comfort, luxury, and convenience an adjustable bed brings to your bedroom. Read in bed, watch TV in bed, relax and elevate your head, back, and feet. Plus, get the best night's sleep of your life, and do it for 50% less than the cost of this quality flatbed. Call toll-free now to get the facts free by mail about Craftmatic's Model 2 bed that adjusts electrically at the touch of a button, supports your entire body effortlessly in any position, yet costs 50% less than this flatbed. Don't buy any bed until you get our free catalog by mail. Call for it now. There's absolutely no obligation.
Call 1-800-233-9950. That's 1-800-233-9950 toll-free. Call 1-800-233-9950.
St. John's with a big win, 28-21 over Pace University. The St. John's Redmen now go to 5-0 on the season, and part of that 5-0 goes in part to this guy right here, Anthony Russo. What a super game. Now you broke your own records of last week. 47 carries, 235 yards, and a touchdown tonight. You were surprised. You didn't think you broke your record.
No, I didn't. You know, just give it a ball, and I'm going to try my best to get the most out of every play, and that's it, you know.
Anthony, at the beginning of the game, St. John's was having some trouble with pace, both teams going back and forth, but you guys were really not doing too much. A lot of people expected you to blow them off the field here.
Nah, you see, our offense has been starting off slow, like every game, and I told my coach, you know, we start off slow, but the second half's always our half, and we're going to come out. You know, we just got to work things out. We worked things out in the locker room at halftime, and, you know, we knew we could run all over these guys. We tried. We could have done anything. You got to execute properly and not make our own mistakes. Beat ourselves. That's it.
Talk about your running style. You never quit when you have the football in your hands.
I can't. You know, you can't go down. That's it.
Why not?
Because I don't want it. I want to get the most yards out of every carry that I could possibly get. And I know you guys saw it, but you know, I think I got ripped out of that touchdown.
You think so?
Yeah, my knee didn't touch the ground.
What'd you say to the referee?
I told him. I tried to tell him. I mean, my knee didn't touch the ground. My arm was down there, but my knees never touched. I don't know. Pace was a tough team, though, and we don't take anyone lightly during the week. It's just that, I don't know, some reason we just start off slow every week, but we gel during the game. And
I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to rattle your brain a little bit. What about next week's game now against Kings Point?
That's the focus of this whole week now. I mean, we get one day rest, Sunday night, Kings Point. That's it.
All right, we'll see you.
No looking ahead to anyone else.
All right.
We never do that.
Congratulations, Anthony, on a great game, breaking your record, and we'll see you here next week against Kings Point. Anthony Russo, star of the game in this one. Let's go over to Barry and Beasley for a final word.
Thank you very much, Carl. And Beasley, Sean Bannon threw 3 touchdowns, threw some nice balls, and St. John's may have discovered themselves the quarterback they're going to need for the second half of this season.
Well, he certainly put on a show. He had a couple of passes that were just picture perfect. There was only one spot where he could put it, and he put it right there.
A very game effort for Pace, and as we said, Bob Baker has to go away and say, hey, we may be 0-5, but we're going to beat some people.
Well, this was a team that it was not a beaten team. It was not a team that would fall behind and then quit. I think they can feel very good about their effort today. It's tough to feel good right now.
Beasley, excuse me for a moment. Let's look ahead to next week. Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy, they've got their offense going, the run and shoot. Right. St. John's has some injuries in the secondary. What can we look for next week?
Well, the injuries in the secondary hurt a little bit today. Now, against the run and shoot, those guys who are filling in will really have to come up big because the run and shoot really puts the defensive back in the most pressure that he will face throughout the entire season.
And, of course, the Merchant Marine Academy, as we saw in West Stearns, they've got a good runner as well.
They do have a good runner in West Stearns. He was an exciting guy to watch. It reminds you a little bit of Russo, same type of guy, tough runner, continuous leg churning, and so it'll be a fun game.
Well, it should be interesting, and we've got St. John's the next couple of weeks, then again CW Post in 2 weeks.
Well, that should be another good one, and just there's not too much that you can say about St. John's. I mean, about St. John's and about Pace here tonight. Good effort by both teams.
Once again, the final score this evening, the St. John's Redmen 28 and the Pace Setters 21. Remember, tomorrow night at 7:45, John McClain and the hard-hitting New Jersey Devils host the Philadelphia Flyers at the Meadowlands. Metro College football is back on Sports Channel next Friday night when Kings Point's Mariners take on the St. John's Redmen. Now stay tuned for all the latest scores and highlights on Sports Nightly. This is Barry Landers for Beasley Reese and Carl Reuter saying so long until next Friday. Thanks for watching Metro Football on Sports Channel.
Up next on Sports Channel. Get all the scores, highlights, and late-breaking sports news on Sports Nightly. Live and exclusive Notre Dame football comes your way over the next 2 weeks with hard-hitting gridiron matchups. October 6th, Stanford invades South Bend. Blue Hawks and Notre Dame get their Irish up and look to remain unbeaten.